Throw gang, we are joined by the textile titan. He must be a gigolo how he's slinging these mushroom tips. The MFG MVP. He crochet the bro way. Your cock stink, he block print. Oh, you don't manufacture in India? How about you manufacture Indies nuts? Print to the patchwork. Birth 1,000 copies because the pullovers don't pull up. Shitting on you hoes because the fiber's all natural. The organic overlord, the Zen Zeppelin. Can he kick it? Because the hand died. He's sustainable, you stuss and ain't able. Call him Sexy Brown because the last name Al-Rubeyi Ski, co-founder and designer of Story MFG, Saeed Al-Rubeyi. Saeed, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I've really been looking forward to hearing what the intro is going to be. Did not disappoint.
I was so pressed that I was like, it wasn't going to work with the ski thing.
Do you find it harder to write these now that people that you get guests when you have guests on that have like similar jobs or similar vibes, or like get Antonio on with block print and crochet's a thing?
Well, with 18 East, I couldn't reuse the joke about Asian schoolgirls, so unfortunately. But
the one I liked particularly was him covered in his own shit.
Yeah. As you seem to be yourself.
Always.
That's what we're going to figure out. It's great to see you, Saeed. Thank you for coming through. How jet lagged are you right now on a scale of 1 to 69?
I think I'm probably pretty jet lagged, but because you've got a kid, it doesn't feel as bad as it used to. Like,
you're just perma jet lagged.
It feels pretty normal. Yeah,
you get it. You had sex. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, congrats on the sex, bro.
Yeah. One-time sex haver.
I feel like the last time we saw you or met you was at the bazaar a year ago. Yeah. Now you're in town. You're leaving before the big budget sequel, but it seems like you always pop up when jawnz are being fucking moved, dude.
Yeah, I like to make sure I keep my eye on things.
You're a cutthroat capitalist.
You like to sell shit?
Yeah.
So speaking of being covered in your own shit and or drip, let's do a little fit check, Saeed. The choice for you, and we don't need to really get into the spiel. You listen to the show. Top down, bottom up, go off.
Bottom up. I almost whoa, I thought about it way too much.
Whoa. I know ourselves a Bobby.
I know the right answer, but I don't know why it's the right answer.
We just determined it randomly.
It's a 4-year-long bit that we cannot escape.
Yeah, okay. We're locked in now.
All right, so on my feet, I've got some old plimsolls that were overdyed in blue with indigo.
Did you overdye them yourself?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I like the way that things look when they're overdyed. So
he's crafty.
Yeah. Plus, boring but natural indigo is high. It's antifungal and antibacterial, so just keeps feet fresh.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Good tip.
What about all the stinking jeans out there, dude?
Well, that's not natural indigo. That's synthetic indigo. Natural indigo is a little bit different.
There it is.
And they also, like, if you think about the people that wear in those jeans that for ages and ages, and they don't actually smell as bad as they by rights should. It's probably the indigo.
Well, it's like
he goes nose blind.
It's like those old jeans smells like a dog's paw. It's like wet Fritos. It's kind of comforting in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in a way.
Nostalgic.
Yeah.
Yes. Ball sweat.
Yes. Ass.
Just bringing back so many memories. But you are wearing socks because I would say, like, if it's natural indigo and it has all these antifungal properties, you could go no socks.
I could, but that's the worst. That's my least favorite thing ever. It's no socks.
No socks.
Hate
Number one most hated.
Yeah, probably closely followed by
not child soldiers or hate crimes or war.
I mean, you got me there. Yeah. Okay. I'm talking about
nice,
fashion.
Lawrence. What are the socks?
Standard Uniqlo. They're the best. Okay. Well, at least the best that I've found. And then shorts. These are ours. They're just our bridge shorts dyed with acacia brown. They're kind of like we've got like a, not sub brand, but like another little sistery brand part called Story FG RTS.
Okay.
And they're just like plain natural dyed stuff. This is one of them.
What does the RTS stand for?
Tell you what it doesn't stand for. It doesn't stand for roots, which is what we originally were going to call it, but then we got a cease and desist.
From the Canadian roots.
I mean, I couldn't possibly say.
Okay, but, use your imagination.
Yeah,
kids.
so it's RTS, which stands for, I can't remember exactly what it stands for. But it's like,
you can't remember your own shit?
Yeah, I can't. No, I can't. It was like...
It stands for remember this shit.
Yeah, it's like researching something. I don't remember it. We went through a lot of different iterations. And I kind of also like that ambiguousness. Like, there's a lot of Japanese brands that just like letter soup that I don't think anyone really knows what it is.
Typically a translation issue.
Yeah, sometimes. But sometimes I ask, like, I guess
you are speaking to kings after all. So
I am.
Okay. So RTS, who's to say? Yeah. Whatever you want it to be. Choose your own adventure.
Yeah. I mean, just like MFG doesn't really, there's a lot of different.
It's not manufacturing?
I mean, strictly, yeah. It's like a contraction of
jawnz with a G.
Yeah. I mean, we get a lot of people, a lot of different things that MFG could possibly be, even though, yes, it is originally. Yeah. I don't know what it is. It is a contraction of the word manufacturing, but not everyone always knows that. Lots of customers come up with their own reasons for it.
What's the dumbest one you've ever heard?
I'd have to look back. We recently did like an Instagram post that was like, what does MFG stand for? And there was a lot of like motherfucking garms, my friend's girlfriend. I don't know, loads of other ones. There was a lot of them. A
lot of puns from the fucking streets, dude.
Yeah.
Mommy's favorite.
Don't quit your fucking day job.
Yeah.
Moving on up.
Underwear is for Marks and Spencer's, which I heard Susan Alexandra.
Fancy.
Yeah. Well, I actually have a question to ask you. She said it's the British Target. Is Target fancy?
Oh,
no.
Maybe I'm
Target is a bit fancier.
Yeah, no, she's
Target
wrong. Marks and Spencer's is fancy.
Okay.
It's like the fancier end of the high street.
Target was not the correct analogy.
Yeah, I was confused.
Well, Susan just has exquisitely expensive taste.
I was gonna say maybe she's rich as hell, dude.
This brand, the Target of Britain.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's a high street brand, but it's a bit fancier. I don't know what it'd be like. The Whole Foods like end of things.
Okay.
He bought his underwear at the fucking hot bar at Whole Foods.
But this is your underwear brand of choice?
Yeah, I mostly buy from Marks and Spencer's. Comfortable, like she said.
What
just like
cut?
great. Might upset you guys, but I'll do all of them.
Oh, so you have you switch it up.
I'm like those people that like don't have a side of the bed they sleep on. Except I do with the bed, but with the underwear.
What side of the bed do you sleep on?
Right hand side.
Stage right?
Yes.
Sleepers right?
Yeah. And I was talking to my wife about this recently. I was like, I don't think we have sides. She's like, we have sides. We've always slept on the side of the bed. So maybe
you're focused on other stuff. Dude.
Yeah.
Like trying to figure out what your brand stands for.
Briefs.
Briefs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that. Perfect on a day like today.
Yeah. I think
in my opinion. I know you would disagree. But.
Boxers just kind of bunch up.
Let them thang swang.
Shorts. Yeah, these shorts. Nothing's bunching up in these burlap sacks, brother. Okay. The shirt. Is that story as well?
Yeah, this is story. This is from the most recent collection. Yeah, it's hand woven, hand dyed, hand patched. Soft as hell. Yeah, it's soft as hell.
That hand feel felt like a baby did when I was giving you a hug.
My shirt? Oh, right.
When we hugged you.
Yeah.
All right.
When we embraced earlier, because we were so happy to see you, I lingered just to nuzzle up on that fucking
I don't know what's softer,
fiber.
the shirt or your eyelashes.
You do have beautiful eyelashes.
You have the longest eyelashes in all of the United Kingdom.
It might be.
Yeah.
Might be. Yeah.
Great brows, great beard, great eyelashes.
Yeah.
Good jeans, dog.
Yeah, I mean, I got all the hair everywhere but my head.
Where it counts.
And what's the hat that you whipped out to cover the chrome dome?
This is also one of ours, but it's a sample that we're making at the
What's
moment.
What's the F stand for?
Well, we're supposed to be selling these where you could choose a letter, like here, but I only have MFG back at home, so it was so I was trying to work out M, F, or G, and I just thought F was. I wanted to make like a TF one. For you guys to bring, and I will bring you guys one each.
That'd have been beautiful. Wait, now T, he gets the F, and we just stand next to each other.
I'll make two.
I'm with F.
We can't swap sides. Financial Times, what?
Yeah. I do like the F though, because you're in New York, motherfucking city, baby. You fucking fuck.
Yeah,
you've seen that shirt before?
No. I thought you were just.
It's a classic souvenir item.
That's just how Lawrence talks.
Let's talk about the fucking timepiece, my friend.
Oh yeah. This is a Submariner. I think it's from '96. It was one of the goals for when we started Story was I would eventually buy myself a nice watch.
Hell yeah.
And not knowing anything about watches, I thought they were like £1,000 or something.
Nope.
So I finally got the money together and I went shopping.
Damn, we got to launch Gentle Fullness.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, I'm only in the Timex tax bracket.
Yeah. But then like everything when stuff is more expensive, you just suddenly want it a little bit more. So just been hunting around for ages and ages and ages and ages. And finally I had a trip to Japan like a few months ago, and the economy there is much worse than the UK. And I managed to buy one.
Nice.
So that was it. Yeah.
Box and papers and the whole
No,
deal.
nothing.
Oh,
yeah.
So what's
there
the
you
next,
go.
What's
Real
the next
deal.
goal for the brand? What's the next benchmark? And by the brand, I mean you buying shit for yourself.
I don't know. You know, I actually, I like all obsessives. I end up buying this, and I bought another one, and I bought another one, and I just like bought and sold a bunch, just like loads of people did during the pandemic, and I kind of didn't care about. I don't actually like watches anymore.
Are we just really like general watch fatigue? It feels like a lot of people are just like, yeah, it was a nice hobby, and then I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. There's just so much. There's just some. I mean, I can see why people would be bored of it because you kind of get really tribal about it really quickly. And then like all of the good stuff hasn't changed ever. And no one really wants it to change. So there's not really much development going on.
Right. The innovation is not there necessarily.
Yeah. And
especially with a brand like Rolex where they're like, we're just playing the fucking hits.
Yeah, exactly.
For these rich assholes.
And the bar to entry is so high.
Yeah.
To get anything interesting, you have to have like so much disposable income.
You got to launch a successful brand. That's almost 10 years old.
You need a couple diffusion lines in there as well.
Yeah.
But I like that. That's a blue dial. Navy. It's like a navy blue, or is that?
It's black.
Oh, it is. Okay.
But the bezel is kind of bluish, which is
that's what I mean. The bezel.
Yeah, which is why I bought it.
Oh,
they kind of
God damn it.
Yeah, they kind of they go blue over time, which is the thing that I also like. That's the reason I bought it. That's kind of the only reason I was able to like justify like getting it there and then. But yeah, it's my favorite. I really do love it. Yeah, I love it. I love these like. I love it when something's really classic, but it's aged or fucked up or changed a little bit.
The patina.
Yeah.
Is it still on British time?
No, it's on American time.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's respectful.
Respect. All right.
Is that it? I think that's everything. No jewelry, nothing else?
No, I usually wear when we make these little hand carved necklaces that we give out with orders from the website, but I had to break mine before I came here and use the string for something else.
What do you have to use it for?
We were doing some like development with our zips, and we were putting some beads on some zips, and it was the only string we had, so I just used it.
Okay.
Just a bit of like MacGyvering.
I like that. Okay, I think, and you're drinking a glass of Green Point's finest, staying hydrated, trying to beat that jet lag.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Saeed, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast. Let's get into the full fry up of this pod. The brand Story MFG that you are the co-founder and designer of is turning 10 years old this year.
Mm-hmm.
What are you planning for the occasion?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Gonna break some more shit.
We're putting together a book about the first 10 years, which I think it's ambitious that we'll have it out for the actual anniversary.
The 11-year anniversary is obviously more important than 10.
I want to do something. Like I see brands all the time. They'll be like, it's our 10-year anniversary, and then like
it's a big deal.
Some product, and like nothing big. So we want to do a book, and we've changed so much and done so much over the last 10 years. So that's what we're doing, doing a book. But we're also within the company, and like we've changing so much, and I feel like next year is going to be like our big year. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're just working on like loads.
What ways it going to be your year?
We just got
next
a really
year's my year.
we just feel like next. Yeah, it's always like. I was about to reference like an old British TV show, but the joke in it is that next year we'll be millionaires. It's Only Fools and Horses.
Okay,
and we're always talking about like next year. Yeah, next year we won't have any cash flow issues. Next year, like all of our production will be tight. I don't know. I just feel like we've got like a really good team now built.
Finally,
yeah.
You got Billy in the cut.
Yeah, what up, Billy?
General manager sitting here. We've got production managers. We've got designers. We've got all of the people that we should have.
How big is the team now?
15.
Wow.
15. Yeah. Okay. And then, but like I was saying before, like 3 years ago, it was just me and Katie.
Right.
It's nuts.
So it's quite like
the family business has grown.
Yeah, it's grown. It's still very, very, very family-like. But as me and Katie have like needed to step away for different reasons, or we've needed like expertise here and there.
Like raising your child.
Yeah, raising the kid.
Who's the most redundant member of the team? Like if you had to get rid of one, I mean,
who are we firing?
15's a lot.
I'm gonna have to say myself, just not,
come on, dude,
just not to offend anybody.
Yeah,
probably myself. Like,
so like 10 years in, I mean, it's even as you built out the fucking A team, the Avengers, what kind of still like presents issues? Like, what have you not really figured out just yet? What is always just like a pain point?
The thing is probably like this kind of thing. Like we don't do that much press. We've just got a press agency, but we never did any press, and that was one of the things.
You're a press darling, though.
Not really. I mean, anything we've got.
Story.
Yeah, maybe. But anything that we've got against our will, or like completely organically. And Billy put it best. He was talking to us the other day. He's like, Story doesn't really control its own narrative. So
Story doesn't tell its own story.
Yeah, exactly.
It's in the damn name.
And so like we get put together other brands or merchandise in certain ways, or talked about as if we're streetwear or a bunch of stuff that we might not
think you're streetwear.
Well, yeah.
What's your like gut reaction when someone's like streetwear brand Story MFG?
Personally, I don't give a shit. Actually, I don't really mind. Like I have this like Barthian thing where I feel like, I don't care what people call us, but it does actually really matter to the business. It doesn't matter like where you're seen, how you're seen, what you're called, because it kind of guides. Like if you're seen as a streetwear brand, you might be put in a streetwear section, and then we're like super expensive for streetwear.
Yeah.
Whereas if we're like a luxury brand, we're actually kind of cheaper a luxury brand. So it does matter for the brand.
Do you think that you can be categorized, or is story almost like, is the beauty story in that it's kind of like does fit in all these different categories depending on like the context and the consumer himself?
I was skeptical about that. Like I thought that probably you can't, and maybe it's a little bit silly to try, but apparently good PR. You can, and you can kind of like tell your own story and
control your own narrative.
Yeah, exactly. And
well, that's why you're here, baby.
Yeah. Well, yeah, kind of.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Even though this wasn't arranged by any press, this was just us chatting.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can I come on the show?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a struggle, and then there's like the constant struggle that will never go away, which is the kind of work we do, where we use natural dyes, natural materials. We spend a lot of time researching, developing new stuff, but it's all like old new stuff. It's like finding old transcripts of ways things were done in the past and trying to like reverse engineer like how the Egyptians did something or like that kind of thing. And
it was aliens. It was aliens, by the way. It was ancient aliens. So
and Jewish slaves.
Yeah. Also the Jewish slaves.
Yeah. Or sometimes things that are even not equally as horrific as Jewish slaves, but like equally horrific. Like sometimes you're like, how do they get this blue to last so long? And it turns out it's like little boy's piss.
Oh my God.
Or
breaking news.
Or you take the foreskin and you drop it in the mortar pestle and you just,
people back in the day were brutal.
Was it really pissed? That made stuff really.
Yeah.
Is that why your Rolex is blue?
Yeah. No. Yes.
Damn,
no.
he really is covered in his own drip. What the fuck?
There was a way of naturally dyeing in the UK and Ireland. I'm sure in other places where you would there was nitrous from urine, so they would be like young boys wee, and also actually the best quality to use was like a drunk man's wee the morning after.
No way. Well, if you wanted to be like brown, right?
No, if that was to get like the purest blue natural indigo. This is obviously mixed. It's not dyeing with piss. It was using piss to facilitate the dyeing of natural indigo.
Right.
There's other ingredients.
Yeah.
So was there like a town drunk that, like the town with the most fire Johns had like the drunkest town drunk?
Well, but he maybe didn't wear them, but he was the most highly prized person.
Wow.
That man was an artisan.
They just plied him with like stout and like cider.
Yeah, I guess it's like wagyu.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. This guy's penned in on a bar stool. He can't move. He's just drinking.
Dude.
So that, I mean, that's a struggle. Always like trying to
get
find
pissed from the village idiot.
Yeah, we don't do that because it's not strictly vegan. But
yeah, that's true. What's like the weirdest, quote unquote, weirdest or like most out there technique that you have done with one of your actual garments? Short of pissing in your own dye vat.
They're all pretty wild. They all like take at least 10 days to like just fix the color or do that kind of thing. But there are some wild ones which you haven't ended up releasing, like where you use oil and then you've got to bake it in the sun and then you've got to
delicious.
Yeah, and it takes like 20 to 30 days to
Great
start.
British John's off.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've like, it feels like the bar for weird is so different for us. I would say all of our stuff is weird, but nothing that is weirder than weird.
Have you ever done something where I don't know what the British equivalent of like the FDA is, but they're like, no, you can't sell, whatever, this John that was dyed using XYZ because it just is like, I don't know, unethical.
There's nothing like that. There's nothing like that really. There should be because I mean I remember while I was working at another company which I won't name, someone came along and tested all of the clothes they made for kids and they were like full of carcinogens.
Oh my God.
Because dyeing, the way fabric's treated, like it's pretty horrid. But there isn't actually anything like that in the world for that kind of thing.
There was some, or maybe it was not a rumor, it was a real thing, but like Vizvim, who also does like weird dyeing stuff, they were like killing beetles and then using like the beetle carcasses to dye stuff.
Yeah,
and that was like a weird flex.
Probably lac. That's one of the ones we don't use.
Yeah. No animals harmed in anything.
Oh, we try not to. There's no animal products. I mean, like there's always the like anti-vegan argument, like, oh, you always step on ants when you're cutting down trees or whatever.
Killing lantern flies.
Yeah, but no, there's no animal products.
Yeah, leather. And no leather, no suede.
No leather, no suede, no wool, no silk, no lac. There's a few other natural dyes that are bug based. We don't use any of them.
Right. Damn, crazy.
Buggers. Bugger off.
How based of you to not use anything bug based.
Yeah. What's been the biggest mistake you've made in the last 10 years?
Oh,
your biggest fuck up.
Where to begin?
Yeah, where to begin? I'm not sure. I feel like every mistake is a learning thing. We've made some mistakes with manufacturing, like going too soon somewhere, like believing people that they're able to do that they're able to do.
Honestly,
trusting people.
Working with other people is just a mistake to begin with.
Yeah, that's it. Like there's a couple of times where we've like moved down manufacturing and given them a significant order, and then they've not been able to do it, and then we lose out. And yeah, we've had a lot of sleepless nights. We're a bit more careful now. But I can't think of like any one massive mistake.
But to Story, I know that you do work. You are in a lot of like stores, and that you have to meet certain delivery windows. But like, do you kind of operate on your own schedule?
No.
Or do you operate within like the
You can't. Like there's a lot of people that come into this thing, including us, and we're like, hey, we're seasonless. Yeah. We're like we're like have
we're
this
streetwear, but we're luxury.
Yeah, we have this like punk mentality about everything. Like we're not gonna fit in. You pretty soon realize that you gotta like fit in some things.
you better figure it out.
Yeah, you can be like
kicked out.
There are things that we don't fit in, like the way we do stuff, the way we dye stuff, the way our stuff wears, that kind of stuff.
Just a brick in the wall.
But in terms of delivery windows, like that stuff is boring, but that's mandated by like when the sale starts,
right?
And all of that stuff. And you can not be part of those delivery windows, and you can't. But you end up not getting a decent order because you just don't fit, and it's hard work for the buyers. It's hard work for everybody involved. So no, we instead of eschewing that, we then sort of set up our own manufacturing so that we don't have to compete with other brands who are trying to make it at the same time, so that we can, because it's a bit different for us. A brand could, get an order and then they would take it to their factory, and the factory might take 2 weeks, but they've got to find 2 weeks to fit them in. Mm-hmm. Whereas us, the moment our order gets taken in Paris, the factory starts making it, and it takes them 6 months to make it from beginning to end. So you need
the whole window.
We have the whole, like for the most part, most of our manufacturers they work exclusively for Story.
Not to get too into the nitty gritty of like the business, but I know you are in a lot of stores. Do you want to be in more stores, or do you want to like maintain it? Do you want to grow the D2C? A lot of brands I feel like are just kind of like, wait, why are we killing ourselves to meet wholesale orders when we can just kind of focus on building our own brand?
I understand that thought too, but you can't really control that stuff. I don't know if you can. We're just kind of just following what works for us, like dropping stores that don't sell it very well, increasing with ones that do. I think that's Billy
smart.
Everybody would say. Yeah, I mean, our approach to everything is just to like try and be a bit chill about it and not overstretch ourselves, so that this kind of stuff does matter. Of course it matters, like we have to pay salaries, but we kind of operate in a way that if we lost a bunch of stores, we wouldn't die as a brand.
Right.
But to answer your question, it'd be nice to be in some more stores. If we lost some stores, that'd be fine. We are growing our D2C. It's all about like just like having marginal gains here, there, and everywhere. And it's like building an ecosystem where everything works, because I know some brands just do D2C, like 18 East, etc. And I get how that works, but it has its own problems. And then selling wholesale only is great, but it has its own problems. And we're trying to find some nice middle ground.
Sucks.
Yeah.
No, it's all good.
No, this is all good stuff.
Yeah, it's all good. No, it is all good. Because like when you sell wholesale, like it's so hard, but those stores have their own marketing. They post on Instagram about you. And like, if you're in a good store, that kind of, that tells people, oh, you're a good brand, and this is you're
validating.
Yeah, it's validating, exactly, and it kind of contextualizes you in all these different places, and without you having to like put money in. And then D2C, like the best thing is like we have our own customer service, which is like
the best thing is fat margins.
Better margins, better control of the experience. I love our website. The way stuff is sent to people, it's like so perfect. That's kind of where we're at.
Where's Story, like, obviously we know about the customer base here. I'm sure it's like hugely popular in the UK. Like, where's Story popular that maybe we might surprise us?
I don't think it would be anywhere that would surprise you. I think it's here, London, West Coast, and then Japan. South Korea.
Yeah, for sure.
South Korea is a big market.
Massive. Probably it's our fastest growing market, or maybe one of our biggest markets. Second biggest market.
Wow.
Damn.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Shout out Seoul, baby.
Any K-pop members ever worn your shit?
Oh yeah, plenty.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, plenty.
And did the sales just immediately go skyrocket?
Maybe. Yeah. That kind of influencer celebrity marketing doesn't really work that much. But
it does when it's K-pop, dude.
Yeah, maybe. I haven't noticed any spikes. The biggest spike for us on our website was when Kyrie Irving wore one of our hats.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to repost this.
Aliens and Egypt.
I reposted it, and someone was immediately like, take that down. I still haven't got to the bottom of what all that's about.
I think people, well, listen, he gets a bad rap to some degree, but he has some interesting ideas.
He's got some great points.
Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out.
And then the second was the same hat Ariana Grande wore.
Ooh.
And that got some.
What about Kendrick?
Yeah.
He's worn stuff. Yeah, he's worn some of our stuff. Yeah.
But from K-pop to K-dot.
But I don't know. We didn't see. I mean, when that guy Kyrie Irving wore our stuff, I think we sold like a huge number of hats. A number of hats we wouldn't have made in like 5 years.
Damn, who knew that Kyrie Irving was?
That's crazy.
John's influencer of the year.
Yeah. When I sent you, because I remember seeing Kendrick on like just like a fashion celeb page, and I sent it to you, and you're like, "Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know."
Yeah. Well, again, because we haven't got a press function, so I've got no idea when this stuff happens.
So that's literally just stylists being like, "Oh, I like this thing. I'm going to buy it for my."
There are stylists I reach out to. I'm like, I really like the way you're styling stuff. But yeah, we barely ever do any of that kind of stuff.
Do you give a shit about that or no? You don't give a fuck.
I know it's very uncool to give a shit, but I kind of do and I kind of don't. It depends. I would love like people that I really liked and admired to wear it.
Like, as for example,
I thought you were going to ask that.
David Beckham.
Bex.
Yeah.
The Queen of England.
King Charles?
The King of England. The Queen is dead.
I don't know, because all the people I really like, I can't see them wearing Story. Like
really?
Like Nick Cave, who just wears suits all the time. I have to get back to you on that one. I can't.
Nick Cave, that's cool.
You can wear like a funky,
sound dope.
You can wear like a funky scarf.
Yeah, or maybe like a t-shirt or something. I don't know. Yeah,
like
I mean, Kendrick wearing our stuff, that's really cool. Actually, the honest truth is I don't actually really care about that kind of celebrity stuff, and neither does Katie. So yeah, because it can always be a little bit cringe.
Yeah, I guess it depends how it's then like amplified by the brand itself, right? Like
it's that level of celebrity that is a bit cringe. Like if you guys got your own niche and you think like you guys wearing it, let's love that. That's
you should
like,
definitely send us free shit. You're right. I agree. You're right. That's a good call.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I really love that level of stuff because it feels like there's like a strata of like camaraderie and like noticing each other and seeing what each other does. But
the community.
And there's also an assumption when someone else wears something that's like in the higher sphere that they've been given it, or it's a market, or it's a PR thing,
or being paid to wear it.
Yeah, and that's when it gets a bit. That's when I'm like, not sure.
Interesting.
Kyrie wearing your shit.
But to be clear, Story has never paid anyone to wear anything.
No way.
Just want to get it on the record. We can't afford that.
When did you know that the brand maybe had like staying power? Like, was there a moment where you're just like, oh shit, I think we're onto something here? Like, it's going from a dream to a reality?
In 2019, which isn't even that long ago, me and Katie,
6 years into the brand,
me and Katie left our jobs and took a salary of £500 a month. And then I was like, we've made it.
Just the fact you could pay yourself that broke ass fee.
Wait, for 6 years, you were doing this on the side, just like working nights and weekends?
For 6 years. It could have been, it was April 2019. Yeah, we were doing it on the side. And then we were doing it for £500 for ages and ages.
And how much do you pay yourself now?
Not much.
We're in the money section already?
Yeah.
Not much.
What's 560,000? No, 6,000 pounds a year. That's what your salary is?
Yeah, it's tiny. Yeah,
Yikes.
Yeah. I mean, we were, it's very like flashy to be like in at our dye houses and stuff in other countries, but it was mostly out of necessity, like so that because we could live somewhere cheaper. If not there, then we were at our parents' houses, like slumming it,
living on a fucking boat.
or on a tiny boat.
Like a pensioner.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, it was really. We're doing it right now. We have to because we got a kid,
right?
So we have to start extracting.
You are responsible for the future of a human being now.
Yeah. And then, so we started taking that little salary. We hired someone who we paid like 5 times more than us. And we also started talking to Reebok to do a collab. And at that point it was like, okay.
The beatnik? The freaknik?
Yeah, we did a beatnik. Yeah.
What about like, I don't know. There's a moment where I think it was your pullovers, which I would say is like your signature piece, with either the crochet across the waist or the 2 palms, that motif. Yeah. When I saw that, and then I started seeing that like on a lot of people wearing it, a lot of cool guys wearing it, and just like all over the internet, that's when it was like, oh shit, like Story, MFG's kind of like, they're onto something here. Has there been like a #1 bestseller throughout the years?
Probably both of those things that you've said. Yeah.
So that's where perception is reality, where we're seeing it and we assume it is, and it is.
Yeah. No, it is. Yeah, and then most recently there's crochet hats, but all of those things start to become like they kind of weigh down a brand. So
really?
I don't think the last collection we put either of those in, and
like by design to like move.
Yeah, you got to move it on because we move on the collection.
That shorts.
we keep like a bit of the collection the same and move on like half of it every season, and then people kept coming back and like, hey, it hasn't changed, but it has changed. But they're just seeing. Right. Like these 2 things still, so we have to like take them out for people to, and then we did, and people were like, "Wow, it's so fresh."
People are fucking
addition by
stupid.
subtraction.
Yeah,
people are idiots. Yeah. What sells like shit? What doesn't move at all?
Well, those things didn't for ages and ages and ages until there was until Bode got big, and
here we go.
And then like other brands like started filling in the spaces and kind of like it and like creating like a style tribe, and then people are like, okay, cool, I get it now. And
they broke down the door for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we started at the same time. We were doing similar stuff at the same time, but they're much bigger, much faster, much in a more advantageous place.
How frequently do people mix up Bode and Story MFG?
Not sure. I feel like we got probably pretty often actually. I don't know.
Is that flattering? Is that annoying? Do you not even give a fuck?
There's a sense of it where I'm like, I hope they don't think we're biting. But
interesting.
But I do also think that anybody would know that we were doing the same sort of stuff, like the stuff we've been doing. There's some stuff we were doing earlier. It's all referencing the same stuff. Some stuff. I mean, actually, most of our collection doesn't look like that, but it's just the popular stuff. It's because it's like a thing now,
right? A trend,
like crochet and that kind of stuff. It doesn't bother me. No, I don't find it flattering either. The only other thing is that like if we see someone doing something else, we're like, okay, we don't do that then,
right? Because
you don't want to be seen to be like biting someone else.
Yeah. Do you see people biting you?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Do you call them out or do you just let it rock?
Used to, yeah, used to it a lot. And someone was like, "You're just coming across quite bitter."
Really?
Yeah.
What would you do? Just be like, "Yo, what up, brand X? Like crazy? How similar the shit looks, huh?"
Yeah. I'd be like, I would only do it if it was like undeniable, like
a straight ripoff.
Yeah, a straight ripoff. So we design our own fabrics, which is something that I don't think most people would bother with because it's. It's a much longer process, but
we do that too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, can this blue be green?
Right.
And
yeah.
Then no, we do. Like, yes.
So we might do like, you might get like a block print and then like from afar, it kind of looks like a block print. It reads like a block print, but we've designed the print. So it's got like story written in it or something. Or there's, I feel like when you're working with artisans, you want to have some kind of collaboration in the process. So I would call someone out if I saw that exact print on someone else. So
they said story in their brand, like
it's happened.
Wow, dude,
it's happened. It's happened.
Shameless.
Yeah. Oh, it's like the exact same print.
Do they even know?
Well, I've told them. Yeah, I've told.
And they're like, oh shit.
By the way, can you fucking read, guy? Because it says my brand's name on your product.
What I like to do is a little bit bitchy is be like, hey, this is our fabric, and not say all of the other stuff, and then they can be like, hey man, you don't own this thing. You don't.
Do you patent your or trademark or whatever the fuck you do over there?
Any of that stuff. We can't really pay. You can't really do any of that stuff. It doesn't. It's not really enforceable.
Okay.
Are those the factories like you have extra? There's extra yardage, and they're like, hey,
yeah, that's what happens sometimes.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's just like
undermined by the fucking
photo taken.
Yeah.
Be your own.
Yeah, truly. The theft is coming from inside the house. Dude.
Be your own loomers
inside the factory.
Yeah, damn, bro,
that's crazy.
So, what is like your least favorite thing about the menswear industry or just like the clothing industry 10 years in? You've seen it all, you've done it all, you've said it all. You're saying a lot now, which is great. But yeah, like, is there one thing that really just gets stuck in your craw, the beady in your bonnet every time? These are American idioms. I don't know if you know what they mean. What pisses you off?
Nothing specifically pisses me off. One thing that I found difficult over the years is that me and Katie are such outsiders to the whole thing, and we have no network at all. And we started a story, and then we'd see other brands like just like rocket past us so fast because they like have money or have a network, and it feels like a shame. We navigated through it; it was completely fine, but it feels like a shame for other people. Like unless you're in the UK, unless you're like Central St. Martin's and you've got BFC and all that kind of stuff, it feels like there's so little opportunity. There's like almost no opportunity, and then more recently, there's like so much hoo-ha about getting non-white people in the business, but it just feels so false. And like, it doesn't, and I've talked to people who've been like helped, and it's not real. And so the thing that I hate most is like how hard it is to get into, and then how much money is extracted from you. Like the moment you step in the door, you get like so much, it's so, predatory. So predatory. You get agents who want so much money, PR people who want loads of money. Everybody's like asking for money when like people haven't got, people are just starting out.
Getting used and abused.
Yeah.
Getting fucking sucked off by these vampire squids. Are you guys trying to like remain outside of that system as you have kind of built up your business in a way where you said you started out as outsiders, but now you said yourself, you kind of have to play the game, right?
Yeah. I mean, and in some places we are like the main, not the main, but we're part of the status quo. Like I used to be really proud to be like, hey, we're like the least connected people always, but it's not really true anymore. Actually, Billy was saying that to me I was like, I'm just the worst cut express. Billy was like, no, you're not.
You are now the establishment. You're the man.
Yeah.
You became everything that you hated.
Yeah. No, I'm not trying to
sell out.
Rather die a hero, or you become a successful brand.
Yeah, for real.
We stay out of certain things. Like I probably won't name them here, but like I don't think that we'd have anything to do with BFC. There's really there's no point.
But from
That's
over
the
here,
British Fashion Council.
Yeah.
from over here, like looking at what like BFC and the network or infrastructure that exists there for like supporting fashion, it seems like there's more support over there than in America, where you have like the CFDA and all this bullshit, which is just like still predatory, still like absolutely just vampire squid sucking the lifeblood out of anything that has like a remote chance of taking off. But that's why I think that like New York has never really produced like a homegrown hero in the way that we do see like a lot of like fire talent coming out of the UK with where they do have support, but it's still just as fucked up a situation as maybe anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I would say is like that no one really needs those guys,
right?
But the fact that they're around and they makes you feel like you need them, so you're kind of always chasing them instead of doing the other stuff.
Right.
Instead of like focusing on things that do matter, like your margins and like your production and that kind of stuff. No one needs them. They're so old.
Well,
school.
that's the grand charade, right? They have to make you think that, or else people will be like, "Wait, why the fuck does this shit exist?" Like, who cares?
They hold up things that you don't need to be doing, like doing fashion shows. So few people care about it. It's so expensive. You don't need it. Me and Katie got through fine.
Have you ever done any grand designs for a fashion show or presentation or anything?
We did a presentation just because of that like thing of like us being like, we're not going to do a bunch of stuff, but then it's like, okay, well, which stuff actually do we want to do? So we did a presentation once. It was very successful.
How much money did you lose?
I think we spent like £4,000, which is tiny.
That's not that much.
Tiny compared. And we did a pub quiz and we did a presentation, and it was massively successful by all metrics. But there's a thing in London. I don't know if anyone really talks about it, but like London Fashion Week, there's something a bit pathos about it because it's on. Whenever it's on, people are always like, yeah, London Fashion Week sucks. But like so many people spend so much money to do it.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like it used to be fucking fire, but has really fallen off.
London Men's was gas.
Yeah.
For a few years there.
It hasn't changed. It is what it is, and it is what it's always been. It's just a meme to kind of put it down. I mean,
a lot of that talent has left though. Like Grace and Martine, I don't think show at London anymore, in London Fashion Week anymore,
I have
right?
no idea.
Yeah, they moved to Paris, and that's what happened in New York to like a lot of like your Tom Browns or whatever, and even now with Bode, they're not shown here.
Oh, I suppose it's like less and less brands feel the need to do a show. There's less need for so many different shows and so many places,
or if you're going to spend the money to do the show presentation, you're like, yeah, we're going to do it in Paris, where it actually matters.
Paris does matter.
Yeah,
like that is the one that does really matter, because that's where you also do your sales. So you might as well also have, if you've got the clothes there, you've got everything there, you might as well do it. Also just a completely different vibe. Like Paris feels like going to Glastonbury at this point. Like it's just like everyone's
close,
there.
Yeah.
It's a bit muddy.
Yeah.
All right. So in the 10 years, as you've kind of grown and become like, part of the establishment, maybe, where have you sacrificed your morals the most? What have you done where you're just like, oh, fuck. I thought it was punk rock, but like, I guess I got to do it.
I was thinking about this today. I'm glad that I was, because otherwise I wouldn't know how to answer this. But we used to have this thing where I was like, the thing that I hate most is when people take work away from people, especially when you're working with craftspeople. So I'm like, okay, whoever we work with, we're going to work with them forever. And we're never going to work with, we're going to make a commitment to them.
How naive.
But sometimes some people make it so hard to work with them, and they don't want to work with you. And then you're like, we're holding on to work with them because of this like weird ethic. And they're like, we don't want to work with you anymore.
Break up with me, please.
So there's probably like the one thing.
Is that because you're like scaling, get to make more shit, or they're just not great at partnering up?
It's because sometimes like we got to have like a high level of, there's so many chaotic factors in making a garment. Like the dye is always, dependent on the weather and that kind of stuff. So there's things where we can control them. They have to not be chaotic.
Right.
Like the sewing or the time or communication. Those things like have to be really on point. So it's where people are like, I can't be that communicative, or I don't want to do this work because I've got other work which is much easier. They're not so specific about what they need. That's what happens.
So it's taking work away from artisans and craftspeople.
Yeah, that's the story.
What's your favorite part about like just the whole creative process?
me specifically, I like the natural dyes.
Yeah.
I'm really like,
that's what you're passionate about.
Yeah, that is my passion. Katie, she isn't as passionate. She's really into,
she keeps her hands clean, literally.
Yeah. she's like more into the garment design stuff and all the other kind of production stuff. But me, natural dyes.
Is that like, and obviously there's this big team now, but is that like a little bit of the right brain, left brain that makes you guys like a good duo, and just in terms of like, not about your marriage, but in terms of the professional working relationship element?
Yeah, I don't know how people do it on their own. Like, there's so many brands that just one person. I don't know who do they talk to? Like, how do you work something out?
Themselves,
their therapist.
Yeah. I mean, we got that too, but I think us having different opinions on stuff and working on different things at the same time. It's fantastic. It's unbelievable. It's also why our marriage is so good. Is that we can just trust each other to do something, and then if we don't like it, we can trust each other to just say I don't like that and not get offended. And like, it's different when you work
that honest sounding board that's never going to lie to you because you've made a lifelong commitment.
Yeah, and it just cuts out a lot of time to be able to like, I hate that, and then everyone moves on. Even though sometimes it is a bit hurtful, everyone can just
this
move
natural
on.
dye sucks.
Yeah.
Is there something that you loved and she was like,
all the time?
Oh yeah,
like 10 times a day.
Who's usually more correct? Is it her? She's definitely.
I would say it's pretty half and half.
Okay.
Yeah,
So there's no better half.
No, I mean, we always lord over each other the things where one of us was like, that sucks, and then it just like turns out to be a massive success.
Yeah. Kyrie wore my hat.
I told you.
Yeah.
Is that how you guys
You're sleeping on the couch?
Is that how you guys split up the work? Is that you're more focused on like the finishing techniques and she's on like the foundational like garment pattern making?
In the past, it was more like I was doing. We split everything. It's really hard to say. Actually, we do like half of each thing, but like she
not efficient at all, my friend.
Yeah.
No, not at all. But
all right, I designed the left side of the shirt. You designed the right side. And
Which
they
sleeve
do not
you want
match.
today?
Yeah.
I mean, now she's much better with certain things like money. So she does all the money stuff, and I'm better at talking about the brand and doing the engagement stuff. But when it comes to
type shit,
yeah, just hopping on a pod with the fellas while your wife keeps the checkbook balanced.
But when it comes to like designing the collections from like at the start, we're both doing it.
do you have to like leave the work like when you leave the office? Like, is it like no more work talk? Like this is now your husband and wife building a home, building a family. And like, how do you not let the work affect the relationship, vice versa? Like,
well, affected us for ages. It's only in the last like 2 years since we had a kid that we've actually been able to cut it. I've been saying forever, I don't want to talk about work after work, and she's like completely like she's the type of person where she can be like, hey, we're running out of money, and then at 9 p.m. and then go to sleep at like 9:05, and I'm like lying in bed with my eyes open. So we've had lots and lots of like disagreements about that kind of thing. So we do leave it at home. Even now during the workday, sometimes we sit next to each other and someone asks me a question, and I'm like, ask Katie, and she's like right next to me, just on Slack.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do have to split things because it really affects your home life. Yeah.
Right. You need that work-life balance.
Yeah, you do. And like, we used to, everything used to be out of our house too. It's only pretty recently that it's not.
So it's impossible to leave work at work when work is home and home is work.
Yeah, that's how I am. Yeah, because this is my home.
Yeah.
James just is lying like in bed at night being like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Wait, so your kid is 2 now, you said?
Yeah.
How has raising a child, like, has that affected the approach to the creative side at all, or like any aspect of the business? Besides, you're like, oh shit, we got to make some money now.
Yeah, that
Uni ain't cheap, man.
That last thing is probably the biggest thing. Like, I feel like we need to make sure that we have some security as a couple to keep going forward. But no, all of the things that I cared about are all the things that like people seem to care about after they've got a kid, like about the planet, about the kind of planet we're leaving, about the kind of people we want to be remembered as, about the kind of work we do. We cared about that before, and I meet parents like, hey,
but now you mean it. It's not. It's
no,
not just
I mean parents. They're like, I've just suddenly realized. I'm like, okay, well, I felt like that for a while. I think about things a lot. We're having a kid, like what we're putting on his body, what we're putting in his body, that kind of stuff, and it makes me feel like double proud about the kind of work we're doing at Story, because we've always been like really fixated on that kind of stuff.
Do you have, as a parent who cares about what goes on and into your child, and we talked about Kyrie Irving, do you have like a crazy out there like conspiracy theory level like health and wellness take that you want to share with us?
No. also,
no, you don't want to share it, or no, you don't have it.
I don't think we have one. I mean, we're both vegan, so
right.
We've been vegan since before the brand started. It's certainly not a conspiracy. I think everyone knows like the amount of plastic that's going into our bodies.
Yeah.
It's pretty horrendous. So we try and keep it out as much as possible. But otherwise, like I also want our kid and us to live like a normal life. It's like there's some
not in a bunker afraid of the future.
Not get super weird. Like So,
does your kid have drip?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he only wear? Is he covered in his papa's own shit?
No, unfortunately not. No, because kids grow so quickly. It's hard to. He wears a little hat that we make. But I feel like toddlers got like such a good body type for clothes. They're always like short and baggy.
Toddlers are hot, dude. I agree, man. That was a good call.
Absolutely not saying that. Absolutely not saying that. No. But like, all the clothes look so good. And sometimes I look at his outfits. I'm like, man, we should make that for grown-ups.
Damn, I wish I was chubby.
Built like a brick shit house. Dude.
I mean, that's kind of like a little bit of it's like an open secret story. Like sometimes we make stuff that's like, that a design influence is making children's clothes for adults. Like children's clothing has got such cool proportions, like slightly bigger pockets, like slightly weird. Like, when like Japanese sites I recently found out like the shoes always look better. It's because they shoot this like a size 4.
Yeah, well, that absolutely, dude. The smaller the shoe, the better the photo. Yeah, 100%.
And so it's the same with jackets. You take like a tiny little Carhartt kids jacket and blow that up to a thing size. It's just the best.
It's the opposite of a dick pic, The smaller the better pick.
The opposite of Benjamin Button's penis disease. Do you have a favorite piece that you've ever designed? Forget the bestsellers. Forget like what doesn't sell. Forget what Kyrie and Kenny have worn, but like
Saeed's Grail.
Yeah. We've got a jacket called the Sunday jacket. It's like the second or third thing we've ever made. It's just like a denim jacket, but it's made from a hand-loomed, hand-woven jacket woven by these like old ladies in Thailand, and they grow the cotton themselves, they dye it themselves, they weave it themselves, and it was just like a perfect hit, like because it's beautiful, wearable, and it wears so nicely. Like everyone that has
how it ages,
beautifully. It's just so incredible, and it ages quite fast too, which is like it's nice. It's like nice,
Benjamin Button.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that's my favorite, and it's also like we've had it forever, so it's one of those things.
It's a mainstay.
Yeah, I think we'll have it forever.
Least favorite?
Least favorite.
Or you love all your jawnz equally.
I mean, have you seen like a customer wearing something and you're like,
yeah, for
yikes,
sure.
I designed that. Fuck.
We've made stuff.
I'll buy that off you.
Yeah.
I can't think of a specific thing, but there've been times
to destroy that.
I can't think of a specific thing, but there's been times where we've been counseled to make like a certain thing that neither me nor Katie would wear, like a certain type of dress or something. And because
is that like you're like merchandisers or like
a store? We don't do it anymore. We did it like once or twice, like especially when we were starting women's wear.
Right.
We'd be like, because Katie she does dress very feminine, but she's more tomboyish, I would say. She likes more menswear pieces. So when we were starting women's wear stores were like, hey, let's be really helpful to you and tell you, you should make this thing. And then we make it and we just hate it.
Right.
And then it also does badly. And then I'm just angry about it. And also
nobody wins.
Yeah, no one wins. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
You stopped doing that.
Yeah, we didn't have to do that very long. Yeah.
Well, you're only here in New York for a few days, sadly. We need you to come over and like so we can have a proper hang, proper pints. Can vegans drink beer?
Oh yeah. Most beer.
All right.
There's some beer that isn't.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What's animal products in there?
They use like something from a fish's gut to clarify it.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Who dresses better, men in New York City or men in London?
In your experience?
Because I feel like that is the current rivalry.
Yeah.
Right now.
I've only seen a very thin slice of New York dressing. Like I've staying right now in that Dimes Square-ish area-ish.
Okay.
And that's kind of close to where we were
So you're
before.
at the center of the zeitgeist.
And I think it's not very...
You're not a fan of the mullets and the jorts?
You don't like jorts. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know anywhere in England where everyone dresses so similar to each other.
Interesting.
I think that...
I feel like actually like the Dimes Square Bushwick like raver shit is kind of actually draws a lot of inspiration from London rave scene now.
Yeah, that you guys used to wear.
Yeah, but I feel like if you meet a group of like 4 friends... They're not all dressed the same in England.
But here they are.
Here they are. Here they're like wearing
clones
the same
of each
outfit.
other.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my feeling, my very small amount of time. I feel like people in London are better dressed.
Ooh. Is it more diversity in how they're doing it?
It's quieter. It's a little bit more sure of themselves, a little bit less trend-led.
Sounds like we got another fucking English snob on the show.
But I don't know. Like people in London, the nice thing about New York,
You wouldn't be saying this was 1776, buddy.
Yeah, scoreboard, bitch.
Tax these jauns.
I feel like there's like a thing where like clothes are wearing a person rather than the other way around.
For sure.
And you see that a lot in
And
New
I feel
York
like
right now.
so let's see it more here and less in England. And that's not a bad thing. Like I feel like people are more experimental here. That breeds better stuff eventually. But in England, people are a bit worried. They're a bit more worried about being silly, and so they dress a bit quieter.
I think also the sartorial traditions in the UK are much stronger in history than they are here.
Yeah.
You guys got Savile Row, you know?
Yeah, but
ever heard of it?
I don't know anyone that dresses. We can afford.
But not even that. But
Savile Row.
not even that, but just like
Hooliganism,
a
terrace
more
culture.
a more entrenched emphasis on aesthetics.
Yeah,
and like subcultures as well. Like
and I feel like style tribes change less frequently in England. Like you kind of go through one or two in your life, whereas I feel like there's like several here every few months.
Especially in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with young people.
Lawrence and I were at some Bushwick ass rave last night, and we were looking around and just like, damn, like the memes are so true.
Yeah, but everyone did look awesome and was having a great time.
Yeah,
I just felt old, so then I was like, fuck, who am I to judge?
Well, you were the only guy with a blazer in there.
It was
2 mile radius.
I did wear a blazer to a rave like a dumbass.
But you guys have got specific styles. Like you've calcified what your style is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As a Brit, what did you think about that? Like, and I don't know if you saw this, I'm assuming you did, but that bloke core moment that happened, like where literally these same guys that were at this rave last night for a while are like wearing soccer jerseys or kits, as you say,
kits
for clubs that they have no idea where they're
Still
from.
going, I think, right?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I mean, I've never been into football or any of that stuff. I like it. I think it looks good. I feel like for too long that kind of look has been ignored. I'm glad that people are like, hey, it's a look. No, I think it looks good. I think it looks great.
I wonder what Billy would say.
Billy. Well, okay. So if you're not getting inspiration from dime square mullet ass motherfuckers, where does Story MFG draw inspiration from? You kind of referenced a few times. You're like, yeah, like we are referencing similar things to Bode, but like, what are those things that are really informing your rent?
I mean, it's so cliche, but it's vintage.
Yeah.
Vintage workwear, like most specifically, and then
vintage UK workwear.
Yeah, it started that way. I mean, we kind of have a lot of our initial shapes were all like old British workwear, and it was
I see it in the big pants.
Yeah, and it's kind of like there aren't many people that do that kind of thing, like apart from Nigel Caborn and
the god,
that kind of
Big
stuff.
Nige.
But now we do reference like a lot more different vintage stuff. Vintage British workwear, British American workwear, Japanese workwear, French workwear a lot.
Sure.
That kind of stuff. And then the other thing that we're inspired by is like outdoors and the outdoors and vintage outdoor gear too.
Like vintage kind of gorp hiking.
Yeah. I mean, again, I know that's it's kind of a thing in itself at the moment. But the thing that gorp is like, it's like I feel like I've had enough of it, just as everybody has. But the thing that's kind of like left off is that like going out, you like go all those old vintage LL Bean and Patagonia things. They're just wearing cotton stuff.
Yeah,
and then like at some point something happened where like now you got to wear like full plastic to get on the train, and like it's a bit ridiculous.
Full synthetic, dude.
Yeah,
like early the stonemasons, the stonemasons, like Yves Chouinard, like they were all just wearing like cotton. It was all cotton.
Natural fibers.
It was all cotton and fleece, but it was just like like in more generous cuts where they could actually like scale fucking
and that stuff is the best. And the argument is always like, yeah, but what if it rains? We're like, okay, we just won't go walking if it's going to rain. Like we love going outdoors.
You nip into the pub for a quick shop.
Yeah, we love going hiking. We love camping. I don't have an Arc'teryx jacket. Don't need it.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten fucked up by like the weather?
Yeah, but we just check the weather before we go out.
We live in like a very notoriously rainy city.
Yeah, and they still get by without any issue.
And isn't like the weird thing with all of these fabrics that are made for performance outdoor stuff, it's the worst stuff for the environment, right?
Terrible.
Like it's so bad when they manufacture it.
The absolute worst. And it's always, and it's so often just like really hidden what the bad part is. Like I saw a study recently that said that some of these things are like lowering men's sperm counts.
Ooh. Wearing the gore is making me not bust fat ropes. What the fuck?
Drinking the nut?
Yeah.
The hell?
Yeah.
It beads off.
I think I saw Kyrie Irving shared an infographic on Instagram story about the same study.
I don't know any of his conspiracy
I wouldn't be surprised, dude.
So he's a flat earther. He believes the earth is flat.
Right.
That's why he's like, oh, the shipping was so fast because the earth is flat. Duh.
Straight line.
Wow. Okay.
And I think he shared a link to a documentary that was on Amazon that was like Jews are the reason why the world is fucked right now.
Right, it was anti-Semitic. That was his biggest gaffe. Was all conspiracy theories, whether that was a bit or not aside, is he had a little bit of an anti-Semitic.
And was he like, I'm just asking questions?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. You know? Hey,
I didn't make the documentary. I'm just saying this is out there.
Okay. Yeah.
These are good points.
I mean, this is why we don't post about anybody.
This is why you should never post. Never post.
Never post.
Yeah.
Well, only tweet pee pee poo poo jokes. That's my rule.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine. So, what are some trends? Like we talked about bloatcore. We talked about maybe like the turbo warrior gorp, and then more like maybe like the more natural, less intense gorp. What are some trends you want to see more of that are maybe bubbling right now?
I think that like natural gorp, but not in like making like gorp shapes in natural materials. So I feel like that's also kind of boring. I feel like just going outdoors in a t-shirt and shorts and that kind of that as a brand message, I feel like that is going to come back. So I'm talking to brands like often and talking about that, and they're like, hey, yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe we'll do that.
Maybe we'll make t-shirts.
Like making the outdoors more accessible, or at least talking about like you don't need to. So
you don't need to be Batman to like go on a hike and have like a fun day with your friends.
That's what I mean.
We talked about this in the Fab Five, where it's like, yo, if I show up to play tennis in like a t-shirt and shorts, like if I show up in like dry fit head to toe, that's not gonna make me necessarily a better tennis player. Maybe like 0.00001%, right?
Yeah, like it's not gonna do anything for you. I mean, I do get why like there's something about like
footwear.
Yeah. Footwear is different. I mean, that's that we do footwear collabs, and they're not fully natural things. That's where we like play around with more synthetic stuff. Like that makes more sense. But as I don't know about I couldn't answer. You know, Katie was a trend forecaster. That was her main job before she was with Story. And I also, once I found out about trend forecasting, I was like, okay, cool, I want to do that too. So I did a few reports, but she was a proper trend forecaster. So she would be the best person to talk about what the next trends are.
Was she typically on the money with her trend forecasting?
Yeah, she was. She
don't miss.
She's the best. Yeah, I'm talking about it like she's dead. She is the best.
She's very much alive.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's paid. She was. Yeah, she's amazing.
She knew her shit for sure.
She really knew her shit.
But it is a great point, and like James said, it kind of got touched on a little bit previously. But like, yeah, just wearing a t-shirt and shorts, like it doesn't need to be some crazy fucking next level shit. If you're just like trying to have a fun day,
but people really want to overcome
or do an activity that you enjoy. Like,
I mean, people want to dress up. They want to dress up like Batman.
And if it's just t-shirt and shorts,
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
If it's just t-shirt and shorts, like we go to places like Thailand, where you can only really wear t-shirt and shorts and Converse. There, that means like they have to fully put all of their interest into those things. So like the price of a vintage t-shirt in Vietnam, in Thailand is extremely crazy. If you want to wear like an old Bjork t-shirt, that's like several £1,000s.
Damn,
it's like all they can really enjoy, and you can buy like an old, really expensive jacket for nothing.
And you have to wear yellow on Tuesdays, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the King's color. King's favorite color. The king, who is the new king, is like a party boy, which is awesome. Are there any trends you see out there that you wish would just fucking stop?
No, not really. I'm agnostic about all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not like obviously you don't use or wear leather, but if James and I were like, yo, leather jackets for fall, are you like, man, be better? Or are you kind of like,
I mean, I really wish that people would stop using leather. Yeah, and fur and all that kind of stuff. Like it feels like the like movement away from that kind of stuff was really strong a few years ago, and that's kind of creeping back in.
There were just some protesters at the Coach show in New York. I don't know if anyone was watching.
They're always outside fucking Canada Goose, dude. It's like they live there.
It's just completely unnecessary. And
I'm with you on fur. What's the point of?
But leather's not really that different. I mean, just
I know, but
less animals.
Fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, but
and it's a natural material.
It's a natural material
that does the job of like these synthetics.
True. However, my point is that the sooner we get away, it's a natural material, but it's extremely unethical. One thing, if you take that away, it's also really not. It's a very hard material to wear. You have to like inseminate a cow, get a cow, feed the cow. And then murder it, take all of its skin off, and dispose of the rest of the stuff. Like if we stop using that stuff, then
all that just so a guy can get laid,
right? Like it just seems like
look really cool.
Yeah, I can't remember the word I'm looking for. I can't remember the word I'm looking for, but it's inefficient. It's an inefficient way of getting.
I mean, honestly, you talking out does make me feel a little gross for wearing leather. Like I'm not gonna lie,
but I ain't gonna.
And I don't think synthetics are that good either. But you need like if we stop using, like we know leather exists. It's a really great material. like the world won't move away towards a better solution for it, like lab grown or whatever, unless we stop having, making leather.
What about vegan leather? Are you a fan of like Nanushka out of the fuck are they at? Like Austria or some shit?
There's some really cool ones like making stuff, but a lot of them are not real. Like as a brand, like we get to find out. We're like, hey, I've just seen this leather that's made out of, I don't know,
mushroom,
cacti.
Something. I don't want to say something specific,
right?
And then we talk to them, and they don't really have it, or it's like it doesn't work, or it falls apart underwater. There are mushroom ones.
Cactus was actually the name of the cow that we murdered. So cactus is.
But more recently, there are some. There's some mushroom, not mushrooms mycelium, but it's the same sort of thing. There are some, but it's because it's new, it's super duper expensive. I'm a big fan of them. I'm not a big fan of the ones that are just like vegan leather, but it's actually just plastic.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Just robbing Peter to pay Paul at that point. Yeah. This is also as bad.
Speaking of mushrooms, are Story MFG clothes better to wear when you're on drugs? I think so.
I couldn't possibly say.
Okay. I was going to say, are all clothes better to wear when you're on drugs? In my experience.
Are magic mushrooms vegan? Yeah, right?
Yeah, super vegan.
Whoa, you said that with a lot of enthusiasm.
Well, so I've heard, allegedly.
I know that, so I'm probably going to bore the tits off you, but there are some mushrooms that are not vegan because they're grown from like the carcasses of animals, like cordyceps. There are vegan versions of it now, but like traditionally they're made from like ants. Like they have to inject the ants with these things.
You really care about a bug's life, dude.
Yeah, and you're always questioning shit. Always
I've been killing lantern flies like a psychopath this summer, dude.
Yeah. You and your wife have been on it.
Got that bloodlust.
Right.
Sorry.
Clearly, you're currently. Do you like R&D, all the Story MFG stuff, like yourself? Like, do you wear test it? Do you make sure it's like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously, because you're wearing Story MFG, you're fucking swaggy every single day, 365. Did you ever go through a personal style phase where, looking back, you now like cringe at how fucking trash you dressed back then? Maybe it's a product of the times. Maybe you were just trying to do something that wasn't.
Maybe there wasn't a lot of storage on a houseboat.
I look back and I would certainly see things I wouldn't wear anymore, but I looked cool at the time. Like during like the indie sleaze phase where everyone's dressing like the Strokes. Got loads of pictures of me like dressed exactly like the Strokes.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have hair?
Pardon? Yeah, I had hair. Yeah, I had plenty of hair.
No, I think he was born bald.
And looked great. I would definitely wear it. I felt really
leather jacket.
Yeah, it's pre-vegan.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, vintage, but
sure, still.
But yeah, I mean, I just saw the Strokes the other day. I saw them play, and they were dressed the same. And I would never wear that stuff, but they still look so fucking cool.
Were you at the J. Crew show?
No,
is that where you saw them play?
No.
They've been touring that. Yeah, okay. Did they do? Is this it from front to back? Is it that?
Yeah. No. They played like a bunch of different songs, even some like I
was telling James, I think that Julian Casablancas is the only 46-year-old man that could get away with just never wearing sleeves.
Yeah.
He hasn't worn a sleeve.
They all dress exactly the same.
But you were dressing exactly like the Strokes, the Hives,
Strokes, Libertines,
the bands,
not the Hives. I think they were like suits.
They were all suited and booted.
Yeah, I love that. I love that look.
They ruled.
And then before, but. That was kind of like, it was a great stage for lots of people because people were experimenting a little bit. Like dudes were wearing like at the beginning when people were trying to get skinny jeans, they weren't around. They weren't in Topshop.
They were wearing the girl jeans.
Yeah, women's jeans. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it opened up some people's minds.
Scratched a little bit of an itch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now you are no longer wearing skinny jeans and no longer wearing leather jackets. The brand Story MFG, the whole manifesto, you guys really, I think it comes across, and it's just straight up admirable. The brand really sticks to its values. Mm-hmm. What's the biggest bag you've had to turn down because it went against your moral compass?
I don't know. We were supposed to we were talking about doing something with the Urban Outfitters. Like this is ages ago. Right. We wouldn't ever even entertain this thing now, the conversation. But it was kind of sold to us as like, you can do like Zara, like do this like collab where we could make clothes and then it'd be a bit more affordable. I was like, yeah, maybe that'll be good. But we ended up not doing that because someone very clever was like, they're going to use you and destroy you, and then they were kind of extremely shitty afterwards. So I'm so glad that we
can't really come back from an Urban Outfitters.
That's a tough look.
No, that was a real close call and a real stupid move on our part to like even really consider
entertain that.
Yeah,
is it because the bag was so fucking massive?
No, the bag was rubbish. We weren't going to get paid anything.
What?
So it's not really a good answer because.
So the biggest bag was $0.
Well, we haven't really had that many opportunities.
But there must have been a collaborator that wanted to like use your name and use your juice to like get some relevance and clout, and then
For money? No. I mean, you'd be
really.
I mean, you guys must experience it too. Like there's not that much money in this game.
There's some money somewhere to look.
Well, a lot of times the two-way street is like some bigger platform brand, whatever. It's like, we'll give you exposure. Mm-hmm. You give us a cool factor, this kind of like, under the radar, low key juice. And that's the exchange where it's like, well, where's the money, Mike?
Yeah, I think.
Show me the money.
I think because we do stuff in a certain way, people might be a little bit scared of working with us because they'll get called out for not being sustainable in their other ways, or use natural dyes, or be vegan, or anything.
You're the token,
else.
Performative, sustainable collab when it's like we're also now
so
just
it kind of like filters a lot of people out.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
It is good. Yeah, I can't think of any time we were offered a big amount of money. Not
yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Do you have a brand you would love to collaborate with one day? Whether it's because it's like a category that you can't necessarily enter into yourself, or you just like admire their work and think that you could do beautiful stuff together.
I know for a lot of people, they're like, the answer to that is usually like brands they've grown up with, but
like Nike.
Yeah, my formative years that we were in Iraq, we didn't have Nike. It was during the sanctions, so the only brand we had in Iraq was Kickers.
Okay,
and it wasn't real. Like it was a fake store, and everything was fake in it. And so for ages, I was like, I'd really
instead
love to
of Michael Jordan, Saddam Hussein.
No, what's a big post of Saddam Hussein in there? Yeah. So for ages, I thought it would be really cool to work with Kickers, but we're not. That wasn't me. Like that wasn't like me. We're not working with Kickers. There's nothing coming from Kickers.
All right.
But the brands. I mean, I love Asics. I think they do really cool stuff. Always.
Shout out the homies.
I think Crocs is doing cool stuff, and
you must know Ryan at Crocs, no?
Yeah, we know a bunch of people. Because we did the collab with Reebok
when he was there. With Ryan.
Well, Ryan. No, we was actually with Leo. Do you know Leo?
Yeah. Shout out Leo.
Yeah, that was
a lot of friends of the program.
Such a good team at Reebok.
Well, they fucking brought that shit back, dude, with all the fucking special projects and collabs.
And they're all other places now. Leo's at Levi's and Ryan's at Crocs, and they're continuing the like incredible work.
Great. Do you do denim? Does Story do denim?
Yeah, we've made denim, and we're making it again. But we don't do washes and stuff.
Natural indigo?
Yeah, natural indigo.
So your ass won't smell?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it has to smell itself, so it's kind of starts off stinky, but yeah.
Well, you do with the majority of your manufacturing in India, is that correct?
At the moment, yeah, but it hasn't always been that way.
Right. But right now, the majority, like, is India just underrated as a country with like such a sartorial history and infrastructure itself that like it just doesn't get the recognition it deserves?
I feel like maybe I'm in a specific space right now, but I feel like it does get a lot now, but it certainly didn't before.
Right.
And it should, because it's incredible. It's a place where like you can get anything done.
Yep.
Like people talk about the American dream, but I feel like India really feels like you can go and just do something and you can get it done.
You can sew some bootstraps and then pull yourself up by them.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And the dream of garments are alive in India.
Yeah. And in terms of natural dyes, it's like one of the last bastions of like a place where they're still really doing natural dyes. Other places too that we work in, like Thailand and Turkey. But yeah, India is incredible. Is there any
because it is true that like more brands I think are very pridefully being like, yeah, we make our stuff in India, and like take a look at like this process where we're, it's the artisans that have been doing this in their family for generations, but there is like seemingly a subset or a small group of brands that are like proudly producing their clothing there. Is there any like, and you mentioned, working in factories around other people's schedules. Is there like competition, or are you guys all like sharing knowledge in factories and like contacts and networks like that?
I've got a lot of people that we share a lot of stuff. I'm sure there is competition, not with us, but I know there's a lot of brands that look quite similar, especially at the moment coming out of India. I know there's a lot of competition.
I know they like gatekeeping, like.
Well, they're doing the same sort of stuff. Like the stuff they're all drawing on is the same craft, so they end up looking quite similar. But with
There's
us,
only so many processes,
Yeah, I mean, you can do block print shirt and then like I don't know. But for us, like our stuff is a little bit more weird, I think, and a little bit like less. Although we make some stuff in India, it's not super Indian looking, and the stuff in Thailand is not very Thai looking. So yeah. There's a kind of natural gatekeeping that happens with craft, that it's such a slow process that if you work with a group of craftspeople, they can't really work it's hard for them to work with someone else because they're busy.
Yeah. Right.
They're doing stuff. Yeah.
They can only take on so much.
Yeah.
I didn't know Thailand was like at such a, I don't know, like manufacturing.
Is that the next like frontier? Like if we're talking about India having this moment now, could we maybe see more brands like proudly coming out of Thailand?
I would love that. Yeah. I think so.
Where in Thailand?
Sakon Nakhon, which is the northeast.
Is it up here? Northeast up here? This is Chiang Mai somewhere.
Yeah. It's the northeast around there, like towards the borders.
Oh, all right. This is where the heroin is.
I couldn't possibly say. A
lot of junk coming out of that region.
There's a lot of traditional weaving there. Like, I don't know, do you know about Harris tweed, how that's made?
No.
Tell us.
Okay, I won't reference it then.
It's my namesake.
Oh, no?
Well, they've got a certain way of doing stuff. This is obviously in the Hebrides. Like, for it to be Harris tweed, it has to be woven in the person's home.
Right.
True. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's that same sort of vibe with these weavers in Thailand, where like these guys weave at home, or sometimes they have like a little cultural center they all weave at. They grow their own cotton. They grow their own indigo. They do small batches. It's a social thing. It's a traditional thing. Sometimes it's like farmers who do it for beer money. Sometimes they do it full time. It's just like really, really, really beautiful. Extremely, extremely slow. Very hard to manage. But yeah, there's a lot of history. Also, southern China, northern Vietnam, like that whole area. There's a lot of natural indigo, and it's all the special thing about natural indigo or about natural dyes is like different plants all over the place.
Right.
Different processes, like how each community found out about dyeing. Like, they have different dyeing processes. It's just incredible. And you have
it's like
different
winemaking almost.
It's exactly like winemaking.
So regional. Yeah.
It's that our brand. I always talk about it. Yeah. I always say to people, like, it's much more like making wine or making beer than anything else. Like, we have a jacket, and the way the jacket looks is down to like the same things that would affect wine: the ground, the person's hands, the culture, the terroir,
weather.
Yeah, the weather. It's all that the knowledge.
Change.
Yeah.
Shout out to fucking boozers, man. Is it gonna take like
beer money makes the John's world go round?
Is it gonna take fucking like cool guy brands being like planting their stamp proudly with made in Thailand for it to become like is that even what happened with India with like you and 18 East and Karu and 3-6 fucking Bode?
It feels different in India. I feel like there's a lot more. People are really prideful. I mean, the reasons those cultures. I mean, I don't want to generalize, but
well played.
But like in Iraq and in India, like people, the reason those crafts are alive is because people are really proud of them.
Yeah,
they're really proud that and yes, like brands like that recontextualize them for like a modern fashion
That's
thing.
What I mean, yeah.
But they're in modern life anyway. In Thailand, those things they really are dying. Not many people are working with them. I don't really hear about brands doing like Thai fabrics and stuff because people don't value it. It's not cool or new.
Is that just racism? Is that like
it's just like not liking your own tradition? I think.
Oh, you're talking about the people there. Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's
not
like
just
the tradition's dying out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or young folks being like, I'm fucking going to Bangkok. I'm not chilling up here.
Yeah, I mean, it's so it's even just down to the color, like indigo. You got blue collar workers here, and then like at least like blue collar stuff is like cool now.
The blue collar stolen valor.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, but like the natural indigo stuff in Thailand, we've had lots of conversations with young people, and they're like stuff that my granddad wears.
Damn,
all that Gucci.
Yeah, yeah,
Gucci, Louis.
But there's that story all over the place. That's kind of like a point of story is to like go to these places and find these little hidden gems and like work with them. I studied linguistics at uni, and I was so shocked at how many languages die every. I can't remember the number, but they die all the
Latin
time.
Famously.
Which one?
Latin,
right? There was one language that was like the only person that was left speaking it was a parrot or something.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to that guy.
And I just thought,
shout out that bird.
Oh, it's like so pathos, but like how
man a bird.
how many like crafts are like that? And like I don't want to be too haughty about ourselves, but like that's an opportunity for a story to like get something special.
What's the furthest you've gone? Not like physically, but like what's like the most remote place you've been to kind of like try and tap into a traditional creative process?
Those places in Thailand are really remote. No one goes there unless you're working with these weavers. There's not really nothing going on. I
mean, this is not a well-visited region, the northeast of Thailand.
Yeah. I mean, lots of people are from there, but not many people.
No, I mean like for like tourists and shit.
Yeah, there's no tourists. There's no
just
tourists
sex tourism.
Not even.
That's in the south.
Yeah, not even.
Got it. Good to know.
Yeah.
Just for friends.
We're always looking, like I'm looking in Iraq, in lots of places, but everywhere it's really remote. Really, really remote. The least remote places we work with, sometimes we make stuff in Portugal, but otherwise everything's super remote.
Right.
Yeah.
Intentionally?
I guess no, not intentionally.
To be different and
no, I don't mind. I don't care about being different. I'd love to find somewhere that was easy, to be honest. But everywhere, like all of our
it's
manufacturers,
kind of win-win, right? It's like you get to contribute to maybe the revival or retention of this process, but then also like it does kind of play into the great storytelling and narrative of story.
Yeah,
rare garms.
I mean, I don't want us to be seen as saviors because we're certainly not. Like we don't do the hard work, but everywhere is like a plane ride and a bus and a train and then a walk and it's all far.
What's of all the like remote places that you visit for work? Like, what is the most beautiful, fun place to go that you look forward to every time?
Oh, there's this place called Oroville where our main atelier is. It's this. It's going to sound like a cult, but it's kind of. It was made in the 60s or 70s. I can't remember. It was like a town founded in the name of a leader. And at the center of it is like giant golden orb that you go into to meditate.
This is in Thailand?
No, this is in India.
Okay.
And it's just like supposed to be this utopian town that was based on all these different principles. It's 50% international, 50% Indian. And you've got all these old hippies from like generally sometimes from other
it's all crazy in there with the white people with the dreads.
I mean, it's crazy because you get like third generation people who are born in India that are fully white. Only speak Tamil.
That's so sick.
People who like have been in cults before, settled there like 30 years ago and started these little businesses. And like one of our natural diet partners is there. There's a place that makes kombucha and they like research ancient technologies all the time. It's incredible. It's really, really fun.
You gotta bring Kyrie Irving there.
Yeah, honestly, dude, he would never leave. Wait, how often are you going?
I used to go, like we used to be there all the time. Most of our team are going in a couple of weeks. We go there all the time, all the time. And we're there in spirit almost every day. We've got a Slack channel with them.
Right.
Just chat on it.
Nice.
But that's like the second home.
Yeah. There and Thailand.
Well, story MFG is obviously like, I don't know. The story's great. Story, what is it? MFG or RTS? What the fuck was it?
Well, the plain stuff. Yeah, RTS. Yeah,
RTS. And then you got I don't know what we were debating. Like, is this a diffusion line? Like Gentle Fullness, which I'm a fan of. Anytime I wear the shirt, people are just like, yo, I fucking love that shirt. What is it?
I love you wearing the shirt.
Thanks. Is Gentle Fullness a diffusion line of Story MFG?
No, I don't know what you'd call it either. We call it a sister brand. I'm really inspired by like Nepenthes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think they're really, really smart. Like they'll have a brand and they have like a very specific direction for it to develop it. And then they don't really change the vibe with trends. They're like, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, we want to do something else. They do something else. Like, so they end up with like a stable of brands that kind of
is Story MFG the Nepenthes of what, and then like you're gonna have your Beatles and your EG and your South too.
That's kind of the vibe.
It's also
like,
CDG model to some degree as well. Yeah, I think they do the same thing.
Yeah, I just think it's really clever because there's stuff that we want to do that doesn't really fit what Story is,
right?
But we don't want to change Story too much. So
we still want to see this stuff out in the world.
Yeah, and we want to experiment. Like to reference Nick Cave again. He
I got the no pussy blues.
So that's Grinder Man, right? That's another brand. That's another band that he had, and it has a really different sound.
The fusion band
to Nick Cave. And I saw an interview with him, and they were like, "How did you develop the sound?" And he was like, "Well, we wanted to do something new, and I would just sit at the piano, and it would come out the same." And someone told me to just get off the piano and get on another instrument, and then the whole thing was different.
Yeah. Nick Cave, pretend that you don't get pussy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, he definitely.
Okay, so it's not a diffusion line, but how has it affected the bottom line? Because we love it because the price point is like really fucking palpable.
Oh, it's a little bit less.
$80 for like a perfect fitting tee. Like
it's a little bit less. Yeah. It's not supposed to be cheaper, and in some places it's more expensive.
Really?
Yeah. There are some stuff that's more expensive.
Huh.
I guess you just don't see it and sell as well.
Wait, are the t-shirts like $80? Am I making that up?
Oh, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, those t-shirts are recycled cotton.
Yeah,
but they're not organic.
And they feel great.
Yeah, but they're not organic, which is something we'd never do for Story.
Interesting.
And it's not because it's cheaper.
How much plastic is Gentle Fullness putting in my body?
Well, another thing, we might do like if we wanted to do something with recycled plastic stuff, like it doesn't feel very Story, but it does work for Gentle Fullness.
Okay.
And it's not because it's cheaper or like that recycled fabric is actually as expensive. It's just that when you recycle fabric, it can't be organic anymore. It's mixed, even if it's mixed all together, so it's not all organic anymore.
So I always thought that Gentle Fullness was like graphically driven. Is that not the running motif or theme of the brand?
It's like the same. It's the same people with different tools. So and to give like the credit where it's due, the design stuff mostly comes from Dan, who
I believe it's pronounced Dan.
Damn, Daniel.
Yeah, Dan, and then a guy called Ethan who works with him. So we kind of have to stay out of it, although we all work together on it. But like the input is more from them, because whenever I suggest something, it always ends up looking like Story, and we don't. Like, we'll end up with
you got to get off the piano, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for real, dude. Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, we got all this stuff that we want to do, and it's he's kind of leading the ship on that, and he's got great taste.
Dan's name, I don't mean to be offensive. Dan's name has come up a few times on the pod from guys that are like, yeah, like he's kind of like my secret weapon. He's like the most tapped in guy that is like really sees what's happening now, what's happening next. Is he low key like one of the most talented guys working menswear right now? This is Daniel
certainly
Pacitti,
yeah.
Pacitti.
He's definitely extremely talented, but he's also extremely influential. And he just says no all the time. I think that's the key thing.
Oh, really?
He doesn't. He must get approached a billion times a day. He just doesn't do much stuff. I think the key thing is just that like he really knows what he's into, and he just doesn't do anything cringe.
Right.
Ever.
And
his partner too.
Cringe proof.
Yeah. And Sophia, they're both just like, they're just, and the key thing is he's just a lovely dude.
Yeah.
That's
what people say. I mean,
nice.
again, like James said, he gets name dropped all the time, and it's always with like in relation to like he might say no a lot, but like who he says yes to, it's like the illest murderers row of like only the best brands.
And he's so supportive. I mean, he was like 16 or 17 when we first.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he was in a lookbook of ours.
Go hard. Yeah,
and then I didn't hear.
So child labor is okay.
Yeah,
I mean, he was in a look. He was in a lookbook, and then I didn't hear from him again for like a while, and then I just saw he was like really supporting us on Instagram. He posted about us when someone did a video and said this is the best brand in the UK, and I was like, that's so lovely.
Damn.
Wow.
You thought he was just a fucking sexy face, like a little toddler.
And then he started doing styling.
Are you the best brand in the UK?
Yeah. Let's go.
We are my favorite brand in the UK, that's for sure.
Who else is killing it UK wise?
I mean, you guys talk about them like Clint's and Cortez and all those people. Like they're obviously doing really well for the UK. They've got like bringing a much different face of the UK to what
crazy energy
is. Yeah. There's loads of great brands in the UK. The UK's always, I don't know why. Like, I don't know how it's so creative. UK's always been so influential for music and art and stuff. I don't know why. I think because it's so fucking cold.
I think it's the repression.
Yeah.
I think it's the sexualized repression.
Yeah. So it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's the semen retention.
It's the only way you could end up with Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, there's
I love gold.
There's a brand called Sage Nation who are really cool.
Okay.
Who else? We got lots of friends who are great.
What other brands do you wear?
I don't wear anyone else. And
really?
And that's not
except for Uniqlo and the underwear.
Right. But I mean, in terms of like pieces.
I don't wear anyone. One, because I can't. We have a tiny wardrobe. Two, I can't really afford to buy anyone else's. And then three, like I constant worry that if we buy something from someone else and like you don't want to be influenced by something else. Do you know what I mean? Like if I buy something vintage, I'm like, it's a really nice detail on the zip. That's cool. That's free to use. But if I buy
to the archive to be referenced,
or our friend Xenia or something, and I like something, it's like we can never do that now.
Right. Got it. So you appreciate and support from afar.
You can't cockblock yourself.
Yeah. Shoes. I buy shoes. I buy footwear because we don't make footwear yet.
Asics?
Yeah, Asics.
So your main. Oh, you're talking about you're looking at my shoe rack outside and you're like, yeah, this Asics row, I have every single one.
Got it.
Yeah.
What non-sneakers are you wearing?
What, sorry?
What non-sneakers do you wear?
I wear those oh, you mean like shoes? I don't have any shoes.
Because it's leather,
really?
right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, it's just a bit fancy for me. I don't have any occasion to be like
really?
to look cute, you know.
To wear some trickers or some Benchmade fucking.
When was the last time you wore a suit?
At my wedding probably.
Wow.
Or someone else's wedding. Yeah, I bought a suit on eBay and that was it. It was £12. It was from it was from the 70s.
One and done.
Yeah, but I bought it and I was like, let me just see if I like the 70s fit, and then it was perfect.
Nice.
Sick.
And
dude.
that was it. I didn't
Damn, 1 for 1.
Yeah, it was
nice.
great. It was great.
All right. Well, speaking of weddings, it's time to get into the next topic of the podcast, which is called Okay, you and the missus, your bird, right?
Your fit bird, for life.
Clearly,
Very fit.
You've been wifed up. You're very much in love. Beautiful relationship. What was the first date you and the missus went on?
I took her to a Star Trek convention.
Oh my god!
For real?
Fucking
bro, how did that work, dude? You fucking
I don't know. And in hindsight, I went to.
Wait, did she fuck with Star? Wait,
no. She doesn't watch it. Wait, she watches it now. But
you say Star Trek or Star Wars? I'm
Star
sorry.
Trek.
Okay, so even the worst one.
the nerdier, the harder to get into one. Yeah.
Why did you choose? Why'd you do that?
Yeah, break this down for us.
I mean, it worked clearly. Like maybe you know what you're doing more than I.
I was teaching English abroad. When I met her, I was teaching English abroad. I was between jobs. I came home to see my parents, and then I went to a party, and she was there, and we met. We were supposed to be like a summer fling, and I had like 2 weeks, and I wanted to go to the Star Trek convention. I was like, "Do you want to come?" My mum's going to be there too.
Oh my god! What the fuck? You hit her with the Vulcan mind meld, bro.
It's been like 25. It's like completely tragic on paper, but I think that's endearing.
Well, when you said it, we laughed directly in your face, and this is not how you met the love of your life.
And then
the Klingon with the rings on.
Yeah, she took a picture of me with a Klingon.
Oh my god! She flicked you up with a Klingon on your first date.
Yeah, there's a picture of me with a Klingon.
Normally, that's like a third date thing.
Yeah, a picture with the Borg.
That's when you knew.
There's no pictures of her there. She's always behind the camera.
Yeah, by design, bro.
Was she mortified or was she loving it?
No, she's up for anything. She's lovely. Yeah, no, she I think she loved it.
Was she stoked to see you also just be like in your element on your nerd shit?
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to. Yeah, she's not pretentious, so it was good. We just went there, and I'm sure we've done stuff that I don't think we've ever done anything I find boring.
When she was flicking you up at the Klingon, were you like, she's the one because she's willing to?
My mum said that. Actually.
Oh yeah,
but yeah. She was like, she's fantastic.
When did you know that she was the one?
Oh, pretty soon afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
how long after the convention?
Like a week, maybe. I mean, I was supposed to go to another job in Korea, and then I just cancelled it, and we stayed together.
Wow.
Story. And
what was that? Was that another linguistics based job?
Teaching English.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Damn, that alternate timeline where you go to Korea.
Yeah, I know.
Who knows what happened?
As a linguist, what do you think about John being added to the dictionary? Obviously, the Philly John versus John. Did you see that?
Well, I'm not a linguist, but if you're a linguist, you're supposed to just be happy about it. There's like two types of
more words, the better.
Well, we got like they call it prescriptivism and descriptivism, and like in France, you've got like a board that allows words to be in or out of the dictionary, and you have to pass that board for it to be accepted into the language. And in English, we don't have that. And that's why English moves so fast versus something else.
That's like French with like, champagne has to come from this one fucking region.
Yeah.
Which,
I don't think jawn's ever going to be in French.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Le jaune. But jawn's are booze. Jawn's are wine. We established that.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
Now that there's a kid in the picture, now that story is going crazy, I'm sure that you guys do have to carve out time to get the romance going again. What's date night? Like, what do you guys like to do for date night now? Get a babysitter,
get a sitter,
maybe get fucking Dan to watch the kids for a night.
I wish. Billy. Dan lives in New York, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yo,
maybe Billy can watch the kid?
He lives in London and we live in Brighton. Okay. But maybe we'll rope in a member of staff at some point.
Well, what do you like to do on date night?
We haven't had one. We haven't had one for a while. When you have a kid,
for 2 years,
like a nuclear bomb goes off and you have to rebuild your life.
You Oppenheimered your whole shit, bro. I have become death destroyer of my fucking social life, dude.
The thing we do most is that he goes to bed and we just sit on the couch and watch like a TV show like Naked and Afraid.
Oh, nice.
Something really trashy.
Yeah.
Katie's watching this thing now. I don't know what it's called, but it's like Love Island meets Bridgerton. You know about this?
Wait, so it's like everyone's reenacting?
It's
or
like
they're
Regency.
Wearing?
And like the people's like the dating person's families around and they're trying to find a suitor. It's so silly.
Sounds awesome.
It's awful. Like I'm actually just waiting for her to go to bed so I can watch Star Trek or Star Wars.
Is that that's what you're throwing on?
I'm watching Gold Rush at the moment.
What's that?
It's like the Kardashians, but for people to dig gold out the soil. It's really
Americans?
Yes, Americans in like the Yukon. Every episode's the same. Every episode, like they try and get the gold out. The machine breaks. Disaster.
This is a reality TV program.
Yeah, it's like 700 seasons of it. It's like Ice Road Truckers or
yeah.
Do you watch Alone?
Yeah.
Is that? I guess they have like gorpy, like synthetic gorpy stuff, and then they end up wearing like animal furs. And
you think that I'm getting like inspiration from gold?
I mean, they kind of all look sick when they make like mittens out of like rabbit.
They
hides.
do look. Actually, there's like a version of Gold Rush, which is like water Gold Rush, where they like dig and they wear.
I love gold.
They wear caps, and on top of the caps, they wear a beanie.
Okay,
it looks sick.
Yeah,
it looks great.
Put it in the next. It's like a styling move for the next look.
Maybe next time.
We're gonna see Dan rocking it on the IG. We're actually gonna know where the source is.
Dan's got his own style. I don't think he would do that.
Let me ask you this. Will guys who wear Story MFG only be able to get hippie chick pussy?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, you're not sure.
No, I think
you don't have young shooters out in the field.
No, I think you can. I think the nice thing about the thing I like about story is people style it in all different ways.
Right.
And I think that you can. I've seen people wear it with like blow Corey stuff, and I've seen people wear it like very like what's the one that Katie hates? Goblin core.
The versatility of the brand, I think, is one of its strongest
for sure.
That, like we haven't really talked about, but I think is like absolutely whatever your personal style is. There's something you can find in story to mix into your own shit.
Wearing the clothes versus the clothes wearing you.
Yeah,
like we talked about before.
That's the thing I love. That's very important. And I mean, like sometimes we do make stuff that's a bit Larry, but you don't have to buy that. And that's something I learned.
Larry?
Yeah.
Larry, like a bit.
That's something like a fucking piece of shit.
That's something we learned from Japan. Like we'd make something, but like Japan's gonna love this, and they don't like it. And then
those fickle goldfish mongers,
and then they'll like something that was just super plain, and then they get it in store, and you see how they're starting a store, and the styling is the thing.
Right. They freak the fuck.
It just
out
looks
of it.
good. It's all plain, but the styling's great, and like
Yoji Yamamoto.
Yeah,
literally in a nutshell.
Master.
That's now we're like less fixated on the piece and more on like, you know, what can
the cohesiveness of like what could be done with it.
Yeah, like I mean, this plain dyed stuff, like I would never have thought it would be, you know, people would care about it, but like a bit more versatile actually.
This is literally you're teaching. It's like teaching man to fish, dude. You know.
Yeah,
love that.
How much money do you make?
Well, as you know, we made like nothing for 6 years, and then
that's
basically nothing. Not very much.
Were you in crazy debt to get the brand going? Does debt exist in the UK?
No, yeah, it definitely exists, and we weren't in debt, and we just made it work. Like I said about us, we're just a bit risk averse, so we never did anything that we needed money to do. So we never went to Paris to show our whole collection. We couldn't afford it yet, and against advice to get a loan and just do it, and then maybe you'll hit it. We just didn't do it until we could afford it. So we never were in debt. In fact, the company was like massively in debt to us. So
that happened once with us.
Yeah, we had a situation.
Yeah. So
we don't need to get into it.
Yeah. So we're on okay money now.
Did you pay yourself back?
Yeah, last year.
Oh, nice. Well, congratulations.
Last year.
That's got to feel good.
Yeah. So Story MFG's in the black.
I think that I think we had to take out a loan to cover something, but we will be like 2 weeks from now.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. It only took 10 years.
Yeah. And we're still independent, still family run.
Would you ever take like large investment, or do you want to remain independent for independence sake and all the benefits that come with it?
I thought about it a lot.
Were you
not like anyone has asked, no.
Oh, no.
I think you need to I think you need to act like, I think you need to
You need to be Jacques Moo, dude.
I think you need to be looking to be, like, you know, it's like
you want to be courted.
Yeah, you need to kind of tell.
You got to put yourself out there a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't think we would take investment, because everyone I've seen who's taken investment has kind of like lost their energy for the brand.
Yep.
But then
you lose your brand after you lose your energy.
Yeah, I think if we were going to do anything, although we won't, it would be just to sell it outright.
Nice. Ooh, do you have a number?
No. We wouldn't do it. We wouldn't do it. Well, I have a number. I said it to Katie the other day. She's like,
£1 billion.
She was like, we can't survive on that.
£1 billion? $1
billion?
No. I said, I don't know, couple million. She was like, that one gets anywhere.
Yeah. That's just the kid, dude, for the next fucking, 16 years.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Besides putting your money back into your own brand and like, I know, obviously like reinvesting it, what do you like to spend your hard-earned money on outside of just like the business and raising your family?
And Star Trek convention tickets.
Yeah. Right. Well, like I said, it just always have little different fixations. At the moment, I'm really into like cookware.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's part of the reason I wanted to come to New York. I was like, I'm going to go and check out what cookware they got in the shop,
like Chinatown, like the restaurant depots.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I get really obsessive about stuff. It's why I got obsessed about watches. Why Story exists, like
Star Trek figurines.
Yeah, not figurines, but like So at the moment, it's like cooking stuff. At the moment, pretty boring answer.
Are you
are you going crazy in the kitchen right now? Like,
no, I just like someone. So this is what happens with me. Like, someone can say something in passing, like, "Hey, there's a little bit of interest in this thing," and I just go. The other day, one of our staff members was telling me about different types of tomatoes. I was like, I thought it was like a few types. She's like, no, there's loads.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It started like a month of like heavy research on tomatoes.
Oh my god!
And then like I must have spent like.
By the way, so the first order is it's pronounced tomato. So that's the first thing. So
how many tomatoes have you eaten in the past month?
Right. So a month ago,
nightshade guy over here.
A month ago, it was just normal tomatoes.
Yeah.
As of today, there's a like a weed setup in a cupboard at home now. I bought
Your
grow lights, a grow room, and I'm growing like specialty rare tomatoes in it. So like that's kind of like the
heirloom
arc.
type shit.
Yeah.
So you're a cereal hobbyist.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
How are you eating these? Are you like making BLTs?
Well, in 3 or 4 months, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess you can't have bacon. So damn, you've never had a BL, or you haven't had a BLT in how long?
I've never had one.
Ever?
Well, I grew up in a Muslim household.
That's right, dude.
So there's no
well, tomato sandwich.
no pork on your fork.
Gas.
Yeah, just tomato on its own.
I mean, I had
Tomato,
turkey bacon.
kiwi.
I've had vegan bacon.
turkey bacon's good.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's only going to cost you $400 and 6 months to grow 4 tomatoes, which you can just get at fucking Tesco for 60 pence.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, you can always throw them at someone.
But what enjoyment I've had. Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Other than that, we spend money.
The real tomatoes are the friends we made along the way.
Exactly.
Damn, you're just like a tortured soul, dude. In terms of like, you're like,
what's the most expensive hobby you picked up that went absolutely nowhere?
Watches, but I've sold all of them, so I think
that's
I made
an investment. But the tomatoes aren't like an investment.
I mean, it's an investment if you buy the same stuff, if you buy the right stuff. But you can buy a lot of like, I know people who've got like hundreds of like G-Shocks, like go on Reddit and like reading Tiso or something.
Are you big on tomato Reddit?
There isn't one, I don't think.
Oh, of course there is, dude. There's Reddit for everything.
I should look, but I don't think there is. I'm big on tomato TikTok.
Okay. Tomato talk.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We've been there. That's insane. What's the average net worth of the Story MFG consumer? Who we talk about here? Who's buying his shit?
Oh, I don't know. You know, we got a lot of like people like 60 plus that shop from us, like a lot, and then a lot of young people. I have no idea. And it's a question I ask myself because I couldn't afford to buy as much Story as customers buy. Not sure, but we do have like a range of stuff. We've got cheaper stuff like t-shirts and hats and bags. Like this bag I'm wearing today is like probably one of our best sellers. Not sure, but I know that people like who like Story and get into the brand, they get really evangelical about it. And they buy a lot of stuff.
Start with like an entry level piece like this cheaper bag, you think, and then like level up, or
I think the railroad is generally like someone will buy something from another store, and then sometimes they'll message and be like, "This is weird, like this smells weird, or it's done something," and then the customer service we reply like explaining all about the brand, and then they get really into it.
Then they read the manifesto.
Yeah, and there's like levels to it, and that's by design because that's how I like stuff. Like, if I'm like, oh, I need to buy a backpack, it's like that's 9 months of work to like look at everything, read everything, buy it, and I feel like other people are like
for nerds by nerds.
Yeah. We were laughing at the fact that literally on the site, you're about like we're a normal like about me section for brand. It's a manifesto, like you're like a lone wolf fucking mass shooter brand, even though it's all very positive stuff.
Yeah,
but the word manifesto is fine.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of a sinister name. I do know, but
putting the fest in manifesto is the Star Trek like universe building, is that influencing the Story MFG universe building at all?
Maybe. I don't know. Every brand
feels like it.
Every designer is like has this egotistical thing about wanting to build
gentle fullness is the next generation.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, Star Trek or like even the Marvel or something. You know, they got this like multiverses. Like we do see Story as like what would a MacBook look like if it was made in a world where like everything's designed by Story?
What if an adult made it and not a child?
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
What would that look like?
Yeah.
What would a MacBook look like if Story made it? Because it'd be made out of cotton and like organic materials. Like,
well, metals.
It'd be great for typing on manifestos.
Metals an organic material.
Lab-grown diamonds.
Yeah. It'd be a little bit wonky and a little bit weird and like it might look. Yeah, that's
a bit lumpy.
Yeah, a bit lumpy. Like we're working on perfume now.
How stinky is that fragrance going to be, dude? Oh yeah, is it very musky or?
It's the best thing I've ever smelled. Honestly,
wait.
What are
the best thing you've ever smelled?
What are the
incredible
top notes?
It's one of
what do we hit with up front?
This thing called Miti Attar, which is there's this place in India that extracts scents from roses and stuff, like all these things that you generally know about. They distill it, but this family-run place discovered that they can use the same extraction on clay teapots and teacups. In India, they drink out of these like clay cups that are disposable. They drink chai out of them, which is like a mixture of tea and spices, and then they're disposable. So they distill the clay that's fired, and the smell of it is the smell of like earth. It's crazy. And so it's that
like sexy dirt.
Yeah. It's like people describe it as like the smell of like rainfall.
Ooh,
it's very like that.
Damn,
so there's two
very
scents.
cerebral.
Yeah. I mean that's the story way. Like we could make it smell that just smells nice, which is really all everyone wants, but we've got to find like a deeper story to it.
Right.
So it's that, and then like 50 other ingredients that mix together that all works.
When's that
there's
dropping?
2 of them.
Yeah.
When's the rainfall dropping?
November.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Are you excited for that?
Yeah.
Felt the rains down in Brighton.
We've worked really. I mean, we
got to send us some of that.
Yeah, we'll
Please.
do.
It's the best thing you've ever smelled. That is an insane statement, but I believe it, dude.
What about your child's hair after a bath?
The placenta?
The best perfume I've ever smelled.
Okay.
Let's say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're doing a good job selling it either way, bro.
I mean, but
I'm hyped.
that kid does make some bad smells.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Some false. Is he vegan?
Not strictly, no.
Are vegan farts worse than normal farts?
I guess it depends what you eat, but no, I don't think so. I mean, he's not vegan because he had to have formula, for example.
Oh, right.
And
duh.
like, by my
But he had
god,
to grow.
the
I just meant
smell
your
of
farts.
milk farts, fucking hell. Yeah.
What's
Is that
what's
the episode title?
what's the ultimate guilty pleasure that you miss eating from before you were vegan? Like the thing that you're like, fuck, dude.
Nothing specifically,
Really?
just the ease. Like everything's now like a bit
obviously.
harder.
It's gonna be hard when you travel now.
Depends where.
Not to India, but to like
Yeah.
parts
India's
of
kind of
Thailand.
easy.
Or even Thailand, right?
Thailand's kind of easy. New York's okay. Paris used to be terrible. But it's also like you have to go to a place to get it. Like I can't just, get a hot dog off the street here in general. So
Well, yeah, you don't want a dirty water glizzy.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you do, dude. You would fucking, you might die. It's so
Yeah.
good, dude.
but there's nothing fish. I mean, there's some things that like technology hasn't come far enough to give us a good.
Oh, like
vegan version.
sushi. Like you don't eat sushi.
We eat sushi, but like it would be vegan sushi.
right.
Ugh. What's the deal there?
Cucumber,
Yeah.
Oh, just
Pickled.
an AAC roll, dude.
eggplant.
Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Right.
There's there
But
are
no Toro for the boy.
yeah. There's a lot of good for religious reasons vegan stuff in Japan and
Yeah.
Thailand, but other
How much do you love meeting a pescatarian and then getting the chance to one up the fuck out of them?
I don't.
You don't judge.
I don't know.
Okay, so you're like you and Katie are the 2 vegans that are not absolute pricks about
I
it.
think because we're like level 10 vegans by now. Like
Yeah.
we're over the
Right.
that you get past.
You've ascended.
Third eye open.
Because you can like it's like sustainability, veganism, anything that's
Sure.
like anything that's kind of like good or like trying to be good. Like you can never be pure enough,
Right.
ever. So
Honestly, the most sustainable thing you can do is kill yourself. So,
Honestly, truly, kill yourself, save the planet.
even
dude.
if you did, people could criticize how you did it.
Oh, true, dude. You gotta fuck, dude.
What are you gonna do with your body? And there's never a right answer.
Eat it.
Yeah.
Have someone
eat
eat
your own
it,
face.
dude.
throw some mushrooms in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is last money question? What is a large purchase you made recently that you ended up regretting? Maybe as a hobbyist, you have more than one answer.
Yeah.
Wow. Housing market's going through a bit of a crisis in the
Oh,
UK.
yeah?
So we bought a house recently and now we need to move it on and we cannot. So that's
Oh fuck. dude.
boring answer, but that's probably
Well, that is the correct. That is the
Yeah.
That
Okay.
is the correct
That's
answer.
that's
Yeah.
the one. Damn. All right.
Yeah, are things good over there? Like, what the fuck's happening? Because it felt like you guys were about to implode for a little bit because bread
No.
prices were too high. And like, what's
Yeah,
happening?
I think we're through that. I don't
All right.
know. Like everything just got really expensive. People complained about it. They've stayed expensive, and then it's people.
Like, all right,
People
well,
have just moved on.
Yeah, and then the queen died.
yeah.
Yeah,
Got distracted.
And they-
Yeah.
they got the
Everything's
focus
just-
on
And then Footy saw it.
yeah.
yeah, and
And the
distraction.
Premier League was back, dude.
Yeah. I will say we want to thank you for coming on to the only podcast that matters. Before we get you out of here into the afters, we know you're only here for a short amount of time, and
Not a long time.
great sport for putting up with the jet lag and everything. We would love to offer up some constructive criticism.
Okay, nice.
Take it or leave it. Highly suggest you take it. Just two fucking menswear experts talking to another menswear expert. Maybe we can offer some perspective, whether it's like the American side of us, the non-vegan perspective. But I'll go first. Let's admit it. Feel the temperatures outside.
Mhm.
Fucking record, like a hurricane's about to hit.
Yeah.
Record-breaking hurricanes already. The world's already gone to shit. It's a wrap.
Mhm.
It's done. Just sell out and collab with Shein.
Yeah, bro. Let's go.
Full circle from when you turned down Urban Outfitters.
Mhm.
Collaborate with somebody even more evil and
Yeah.
even worse for the planet.
Just become part of the problem, dude.
Excellent idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get off your high horse.
I'll look into it.
Honestly, when motherfuckers zig, you should zag.
Yeah.
Collab with Shein. What does that look like?
Shit.
Yeah.
I don't
They
know.
definitely,
Larry.
they definitely don't use real leather. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't know so little about them. Or the first time I heard about them was the recent controversy on TikTok where people
Yeah.
went there. And
That
trying
was
to
so
pass it off.
funny, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I wish we had talked about that more. That was incredible, dude. Influencers will literally do anything for a free trip, dude.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah,
And I'm speaking for myself too.
How much
I
time
would
is-
have been there if I was invited.
Can I ask how old you are?
36 or 37. I can't remember.
we're okay.
I was born in 86.
So we're the same age. Wait, 86.
Yeah.
96?
86.
86.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all the same age here.
We're all the same age. How much time do you spend on TikTok?
Oh, loads. But,
Yeah.
but my TikTok is mad. It's all tomatoes and
Shein.
and like
Controversy.
it's like very like it's
Yeah.
so specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Also same.
Yeah.
Well, before you fucking collab with Shein and start turbocharging the end of the world, even though that's going to happen again without you. And obviously, my thing is before you leave town, just eat a hot dog. It's so worth it.
All
but my thing is, can you take us the next time you go to India? We make our cut and sew in India. We have not had the pleasure of going. I would love to go with a fucking expert.
I'd love to have
Just
you.
have us tag along, bro.
Yeah,
I want to go and meditate in the golden orb.
I would actually prefer to go to Thailand with you.
Yeah,
I'd
let's do it.
also go to
Yeah.
Thailand.
Let's do it.
Dust off my tie.
But it's they're close. We can go to both.
All right.
We usually do both.
He was almost a porn star in Thailand.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. The place in India is genuinely incredible. Like it's so
Dude, I
unusual.
wanna go so bad.
Where in
And
India is it? Like what?
It's near Pondicherry, which is a part of India which was not colonized by the British. It was
Like,
colonized by the
no.
French.
Oh.
So it's like they drink wine. There's like
Smells worse.
French buildings.
Where? Like north,
South,
west, south.
South. I'm rubbish at this. Southeast.
Okay.
Yeah, southeast.
All our menswear friends that go there for work, Antonio,
Mhm.
yourself, Andrew, everyone's like, you guys gotta fucking go.
Yeah, yeah. Oroville.
Have you ever been? You've been to
I've been to
India.
India.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I've never had the pleasure. I would love to go.
I
There.
got very sick and got
Yeah.
hit by a motorcycle on my second day.
Yeah.
You need a redemption tour, dude.
No. Well, I was also in Bangalore.
Yeah,
or
it's
now
so
called
different,
Bengaluru,
you know,
which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
India's
not
like,
a tourist friendly city.
yeah, India's like lots of different countries.
Yeah, some guy tried to kill you with his motorcycle, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. The dye
Or
house is
maybe I
amazing.
hallucinated that, to be honest.
Yeah, the dye house is really beautiful. Like it's you must
All the
have gone into
content that
factory.
you guys post from there, and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
again, like
It's sick.
316.
Again, it's like winemaking. It's just wild that,
Right.
that we make clothes out like that way.
John's is
Yeah.
wine, baby.
Yeah.
Also, just can you tell Dan to do the show? We need to get Dan on the show.
Yeah, I'll ask him.
Cool.
Yeah,
Make
have
a
you had Leo
make a
on
little
before?
connect. No, but we know
'cause
Leo.
Leo's
Oh,
never
okay.
really in New York.
Yeah.
And I think he
Okay.
prefers.
Well,
to
he
be
was
like
just
a-
here for his birthday. Happy
He prefers
belated,
to be like
Leo.
a kind of like a low key guy.
Is it
Thing.
okay?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like a dot connector. guy.
Also, I'm not trying to deal with Levi's PR, bro. I'd rather go to the house and get free jeans and keep it a fucking
The
keep it pushing, bro. Saeed, thank you so much,
Thank
bro.
you
What would
for
you like to
coming.
plug? Where
Yeah.
can the kids follow you? Go off, dude.
Story FG on Instagram. My Instagram is Saeed_Story FG and Katie's is Katie Story _
There's also a few other like diffusion.
Yeah, we've got.
Fusion grams.
Here we go. Okay, we've got at Gentlefulness, which is the sister brand. We've also got like a behind the scenes type Instagram called at MFG_MFG_MFG. I can't remember how many, but you start typing it, you'll find it.
Was that influenced by Den?
No, it was, I don't
It's
remember
like,
what
all right,
it was
let's just
influenced
repeat
by.
the same shit over and over and over.
It was just like I just wanted to have a space where like our Instagram has to be so polished now. I wanted somewhere that could be a bit rougher. And
How's your
we
Do you have a TikTok?
We do have one, but I don't know. I'm on TikTok all the time, but I don't know. I don't think we've found our voice there,
Right.
as brands say. I feel like we don't really feel like it's for us, actually.
Well, I do think that some of the behind the scenes stuff might actually resonate on TikTok.
Yeah, and it's good like once, and then it gets boring, and then you just posting
Fair.
behind the scenes all the time. Yeah, that's the crux, and you got to make like so much content.
You could start a podcast and just post your clips there.
Yeah, we could. We'd have started one, but I actually have the same.
Wait,
the same.
you started
Wait,
a pod?
for real?
Yeah, but
Invite us on your show, dude.
I will do.
Let's record live in India.
Yeah.
It was
I would love to.
like you and your wife have
It was me and my wife, and I've also interviewed. I've got lots of content already. I've interviewed all
Really?
our dyers and stuff, but I just haven't got time to
nice.
edit it together. I have the same stuff as you, and I've just like the gain was all wrong, so it's like really quiet, really,
Yeah,
really.
Hey man, we're still figuring it out. You know.
3 years in and we
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Also, shout out Billy. Buy some Horatio loafers if you're listening at home. And all these motherfuckers. Oh, I need loafers, and you buy some fucking Horatio. loafers.
Billy is here. He's got his own brand called Horatio. Actually, I mean, if I can plug, like, Story's got most people working with us got side hustles. Billy's got Horatio. One of our designers got a bad brand called Arcs. It's doing really, really well. And
like the aux cord?
no, ARCS.
Okay.
We make these really great bags. Anyone else? There's lots of different side hustles, but not all of them are brands.
You can Saeed's in the cord. You can just fucking add him, and you can fucking chat his ear off
Yeah.
about customer service or all the
Yeah,
other fucking
exactly.
cool brands that the people that work for him do on the side.
Saeed, thank you. Again
Appreciate
for
you,
coming
bro.
on to the Only
Thank you
Podcast
very much for
Matters.
having me.
Chef, take us out.